Sirius. Sirius XM. You're listening to Opie and Anthony. Opie and Anthony.
Oh, I'm very, very happy. Got Joe DeRosa and Marc Maron in studio. Thank God.
Yes. Thank God.
Yeah. I was going to say we'll stop bitching, but then Mark had a thing. Joey had a thing.
Everyone's got a thing.
I think everyone has a thing.
Everyone's got a thing.
Is it bitching? Isn't that what radio's about?
Just sitting here and bitching about things. It really is.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, this thing is very simple, but for some reason they have to make it so complicated that it blows up your brain. It literally blows up my brain. How dumb all this is and how easy it is to fix, but they choose not to for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's unbelievable.
Do you even know who's in charge here? That becomes a big problem with bureaucratic, big business operations. Like, who's the guy in charge?
We always talk about when we have an issue.
Yeah.
Like, I want to go to the guy.
There's no
and
guy.
be able to talk to the guy. And then you realize, oh, my God, there's no guy.
No.
There's a consortium. There's this. There's
Yeah.
there's mid-management people that you go, well, we'll kick it upstairs and see if we could talk to.
It's an army of people.
It's a Wizard of Oz thing.
As far as feeling like there's a guy to go to change things around here, there's no guy.
Well,
There's absolutely no guy. There's a guy that's supposedly in charge, but you go to him with all these issues, and nothing changes.
All the executives do is figure out a way to displace blame, so when the shit hits the fan, it ain't on them.
Right.
That's how they move up. That's how they move sideways. It's like, just make it so it's not my fault.
It's not my
How
shit.
can I push this over to the other guy? And then the guy that you hate, the guy that caused all the problems, he's now the head of another company because he displaced blame the best.
That's exactly what it is.
That's how this business works.
Wow.
What did that guy ever do? Nothing.
No.
Then why is he the king of everything? Because they couldn't hang any shit on him.
Yeah. It's no longer about accomplishment.
No, hell no.
It's how much shit you didn't fuck up.
Executive
and how much you
survival.
could make other people look like they fucked up.
Yeah,
That's
when,
it.
When we came here, we had a vision of really building this channel and having a solid, I don't know, group of guys that know how to do radio. Mark certainly would have been on that list. But these guys don't want to pay anyone. So now our channel, I like it to a point, but it's a lot of replays, and we were able to get a couple guys in.
Yeah.
But this should have been, instead of
Huge.
Mark having a podcast and Bill Burr having a podcast and Bob Kelly having a podcast, all those guys should have been part of this.
We could all been hanging out right over here.
Oh, yeah.
They offered
Mark.
Patrice a deal the other day.
Yeah.
Patrice laughed at him like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Are they still selling? Are they still selling the exposure angle?
Oh,
Hey,
boy.
it's great exposure. It took us years to catch on to that. You know what I mean? That's just great exposure. What the hell does that mean? We're not paying you, and we might get you coffee.
Yeah, it's free.
Yeah.
Russ Beneve, comic.
I love Russ.
He made a great point at when they did this coalition a few years back where the comics got together and tried to demand more money and stuff like that. And Russ made a great point about like all the networks that'll come to you and say, "Do this clip show. It's free."
I never.
But it's great exposure. And he goes,
Right.
the next time they say that to you, why don't you tell the fucking producer that he's not going to get paid, but the show is great exposure for him. He was like, they'd spit on
That's
you.
hilarious.
They would.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's always a pride thing too. I mean, I always I never did those clip shows.
I never
you
did
know-
one either.
But you know what the sad side of that is? A lot of guys took off from those clip shows. I was the guy when Chelsea Handler got her show. When she first got her show, I had shot my Comedy Central Presents on the same night as her. We did back-to-back shows, 2 shows, and she got her show. And they asked me if I wanted to be on it. I'm like, nah, fuck that. That's not going anywhere.
Oh,
now it's like the biggest show in the world.
Boy.
Well, this is.
and those
I'm not
comics.
doing the VH1 clip shows. That's bullshit.
Yeah, fuck that.
Those guys are selling out arenas.
Yeah, all the comics associated with her are doing really, really
thank God
well.
for my pride. I mean, I'm a real genius.
But they came to Patrice recently, and like, all right, cool, we'd love to have him, part of this channel. The offer was so bad, Patrice did the double, like,
oh yeah,
with his fingers, made his Patrice O'Neill look,
yeah.
and walked away.
Jesus.
Just said,
That was it. There was no words exchanged.
no, why would there be? It's an
a
insult.
bit of
Just
theater.
a crinkled nose and a.
And the little.
And it's so.
I think there was a hand clap in there.
You were saying before the break about how like the state of the, if it was this bad when you started, you wouldn't be in it. And why are you guys still sticking around, the younger guys? And it's like, it literally, Remember in it's the pride that keeps you here. It's like that part at the end of Star Wars when the rebels are about to blow up the Death Star.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, I think we should evacuate, sir.
Yeah,
And he's like, evacuate in our moment of triumph?
Moment of
And
triumph.
That's where we're all just standing on the Death Star. Well, it's going to work.
They should have called Sirius the Death Star. It might have sold better in the long run. We're the evil empire.
That's funny.
We're kind of at the end of this, but for the young guys, man, I don't know how the fuck they're gonna,
Well,
stick
also-
it out. I don't know. Just don't know how they're gonna do it.
Well, I think our expectations are different. I mean, I think when you guys started, I didn't get into radio. I got into radio on a fluke, and that place. When it came into be, when Air America came to be, whatever happened there because of management happened. But I certainly got a good sense of what terrestrial radio was, and you could tell then it was dying. But there was a time, I think, when you guys started where the payday was good. If you could capture your market and hold it, you made some good money.
Real good money.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was amazing.
Those days are long gone, trust me.
Right, but when
We're
you
doing
go-
okay. I know people
complaining.
have much worse lives, trust me, yes.
Yeah.
But what it used to be compared to what it is now, it's night and day.
But still, you want the audience. I mean, that's what's the tricky thing is how do you
Exactly.
hold on to your audience? How do you grow your audience? If it depends how you do it.
Well,
It is always about
we're all
that.
looking at you because the WTF podcast that you're doing is getting a lot of attention and exposure.
Yeah, well, that was a unique thing, and it was it's not so much that it was a fluke, but I came into this medium when it was just starting to take off. There were guys that were doing it before me, and there were guys that there's thousands of podcasts out there. But I just approached it not like I did radio. You have full freedom. You got full freedom here, but still you've got these problems with the infrastructure and the company and everything else. I don't have fucking anything.
Mark.
I'm just sitting there in my garage.
They can't even figure out how to get interns back on our show. They can't even figure out that
What do you
problem.
mean they can't?
We had an issue. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
But everyone was punished for the issue.
Yeah.
Okay? So we're past the issue. You know when you maybe do time in jail, but you get out and then you could go move on with your life?
Rehabilitated.
But for some
They got
reason...
you as a line cook right now.
But everyone was punished, did their time, and they still can't figure out how to get interns on this show, which we desperately need. That's problem one out of many.
Well, that's like what Joe said. It's like the weird thing is that when you're guys like us, like when I hit the wall and I was broke in that fucking divorce, I didn't know what I was going to do. I couldn't get a job, and that's why I decided to do that podcast.
Yeah.
Is that what's your plan B? I ain't got no plan B. He just mentioned line cook. That's a reasonable option.
Right.
Yeah, there's part of my brain that thinks I did that in college. Get me a spatula. Let's go. It's like riding a bike. I can do that.
Well, you guys are also stand-ups, though. So, I mean, you
Yeah,
got
I know,
income
yeah.
coming in.
What are you talking about? Did you before the podcast? I couldn't get work. Mark, who?
Are you serious?
Yeah. I mean, you guys knew me because I worked around here, but my manager literally, when I started that podcast, I was broke. I got nothing. My manager says, no one wants to book you. No one wants to do anything with you. And I'm like, well, what do we do? He goes, I don't know. How's my hair? That was the conversation.
Now, are you being booked now that the podcast is taking off?
It changed everything. It changed
Can
everything.
I ask you, and if you don't want to say it's fine, how many people are downloading your podcast a week?
We get overall downloads a week or in between 400 and 500,000, and that's across, we're coming up on 195 episodes, and the most recent 50 are always up. But now, things have changed a bit because the medium, anytime something happens that gets any of us exposure, it brings more people to that medium. The thing is that there are still guys my age who are like, wait, how do you get a pod? What? Yeah, I mean, how hard is it to hook your fucking iPod up to the thing and download a radio show? But a lot of people just don't know. They haven't made that jump yet.
Yeah.
Right.
So now that's starting to happen. So the audience for all of them is growing.
And the other question, you making money?
Well, yeah, but you got to figure it out. I'm no business guy. I'm a moron. I can't even keep my desk organized.
Is it nice pocket money?
Oh no, it's definitely starting to turn into
Be
something.
a real thing.
Well, the problem is
Because that's the problem a lot of people have had when they start their podcast. Like, well, this is great, but how do we make money?
Well, I'll give you a quick
You've heard that
lesson.
a million fucking times.
I'll give you a
right?
quick lesson, if I could. And I'm not being. I had to learn all this. When we started, we just did the donor model. Like, hey, you like it? Help us out.
I remember that.
Yeah, kick in some money.
Sure.
And now what happened is, as the thing grew, we got real advertisers coming. So it's not you're operating like terrestrial, only you're the GM.
Do you have a
It's
staff?
Right.
No, it's just me and a friend, and we kind of work together, and we bring in. And the thing about the podcast, you can show people your numbers. You know what they are. It's not like these books. You know,
Yeah,
it's like these spinnable books. Like when the age group from 18 to 18 and a half, we got 400,000 listeners from 7 to 8 o'clock. That's your time, and that's bullshit. Right. Now you're like, I know exactly what we're doing. You want a piece of this, and so they're coming in.
You could show them the download.
Merch. You got merch. You got that kind of stuff. It's just you got to figure out a bunch of ways. The app. Got the WTF app.
Yeah, that's
what you got to do.
As I sit here on July 25th, 2011, there's no reason to stay here.
You want to go?
There's no reason to stay here. Sure. I'm not even joking. If they fired me tomorrow, I'll start this podcast thing, and I'll be way happier. As I sit here, there's no fucking reason why why we should stay here.
Let's go.
Well, we're under a contract.
Oh, okay. I'll hang out.
But there's going to be some serious discussions in the coming couple weeks because I've just about had it.
Yeah.
We can't get interns. We can't get these guys raises.
Get interns.
Anthony has a better studio in his house that he's not even using yet.
It's in construction right now.
Yeah.
I just got my last lighting it. No, it's. I actually was doing it. For a while. And it's a piss. I call it Live from the Compound. And it's a video also.
Yeah.
It's like I have a green screen, and it looks like I'm in a giant professional facility, but I'm drunk off my ass and just rambling. I wanted it to look like a professional broadcast run by a fucking degenerate. And it's exactly what it comes off as.
And it's a visual element that we wanted for this show that they couldn't figure that out.
I did I did like a thing like movie night where I played Twister and it was on the screen and then I'm in the corner and we're just beating the shit out of the movie like a Mystery Science Theater thing.
Right.
I did a live simulcast of Charlie Sheen's first podcast that he did. And you just rip it apart as they're doing it live. I could hook it up to any cable station. I could pipe in on virtual screens behind me. It's all like chroma key and everything.
Yeah, it's
fantastic. So I got lights coming in. I just had lights come in yesterday for the back. And I got my backlighting truss going in tomorrow. So I just put all the mics in over the weekend.
Does this feel like a college radio station to you at this point? I know you didn't do college radio, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like your studio at home is way better than this.
I cannot tell you how perfect this studio at my house is.
Well, do it. It sounds like you're building a ship to leave the planet.
I am absolutely building a lifeboat.
You do have to prepare for your future.
Absolutely.
If they kick me out tomorrow because I'm bitching too much, I'm completely fine. Trust me.
That's like just the front part of the
look at that.
Lights.
I could see this in a year or two. It's just going to be you writing your manifesto and
that's
talking.
It. Yeah. Hey, son of a bitch. I do have a Nazi war poster in the background.
Yeah, the Lenny Bruce years.
That's like.
This is in his house.
That's my view.
Great. No, you can. It's radio. How much? You can. You just need a couple of good.
He decided to go all in.
Oh my God! Look at that.
Yeah, he's got a window where
you got an on-air light.
Yes.
That's the original on-air light from WNEW that we used to use. My brother was in there.
Who's that for?
I know. It's just kind of a cool little thing to have. But
Anthony made a window, so if people are hanging out in his house, they could look through the window at the broadcast.
I thought Anthony might be making up people.
I have not only the green screen and everything, but the green room is the whole outside. I got a bar area and everything.
Beautiful.
Oh, forget about it. I'm ready.
And before this goes by, Seth in Illinois on Instant Feedback, he just sent us a folder with a bunch of pictures and video from the beach party.
Oh,
so we don't have to.
I want to grab that up.
Thank you, Seth.
I was
up on the screen right now.
Maron's house. Remember, I was going to rent your apartment when you moved to L.A.
Oh, you're lucky you didn't do that.
What happened?
Well, no. Eventually, Leo Allen, he took the apartment, but in the name of transparency, I did not tell him that it once had bed bugs. But apparently, but they're gone. They're gone until the next generation spawns. In 2017. Right? No, apparently they live forever. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's all right. It was a year and a half ago though, or something like that, and I came out. And I didn't really know Mark very well, and I just went out to look at his apartment. And we're sitting in his kitchen talking. And I was like, what are you up to? And you were like, I started this podcast, man. And, I don't know. We'll see what happens. And you had a message from David Cross on your phone. Because you were just starting to reach out to your friends to do the show.
To help
and
me.
then a year and a half later, it's like the #1 pod. It's just crazy to see it make that jump.
Have you changed a little bit? Because obviously we haven't seen you in a while. I mean, when you started the podcast, it was talking to other comedians. And really getting into what they're all about. But I would assume at this point, you've run out of comedians, so you got to be like.
Oh no, you'd be surprised.
But are you expanding the things you talk about?
Well, no, I do like a 10, 15-minute monologue up front, and then I usually talk to someone for an hour. I've spread out the guests a little bit, but now I did some interesting things, man. I mean, I'll take it on the road. I went up to Jonathan Winters' house in Santa Barbara, and I sat with Jonathan Winters for an hour, and it was profound, and it was one of the more amazing things I'd ever done to sit there with this guy.
What made it amazing?
Because he's still got a lot of clarity. You know, his mood changes, and he was a little tired. But as soon as he turns on that thing, it's like time travel. It's like listening to his old records. He's going in and out of characters. He's doing whole bits. He's improvising things right in front of you, and he's just sitting there. He's kind of hobbled because he's arthritic and stuff. But it was like being in the presence of real genius, and it's rare that happens.
How old is he?
He's 85 years old.
Wow.
And then the funniest thing is like, because Jonathan, he's a real genius, that guy.
Yeah.
And he's been around forever, and I remember looking at old footage of him when I went to the Museum of Broadcasting before they had the internet, and seeing him on the Jack Parr show, and no one knew what the fuck that guy was going to do. And he's just this sweet, he's almost like a Buddha, and he lives in this big house in Santa Barbara, and he goes, let me show you something. And we're walking down this hallway, and he's got his cane, and he's walking very slowly, and there's all these pictures along the wall of him with movie stars and people from his life, and he points to this one picture of this boy and a dog, and he goes, I like that dog. And then we keep walking down the hallway, and he goes, this is where I sleep. They moved his bedroom into close to the living room because he's old and he needs it. But you walk into this room, and it's like this 4-post bed, and he's got about 60 model planes hanging from the ceiling. And he says, those are my planes. But just to picture that guy, this very sensitive genius of a comedian, just laying in bed looking at his planes going, I like this. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. So I still do mostly comics, but I take it on the road sometimes, and I do some other stuff.
So you're obviously expanding.
I had Dice came in. I haven't put it up yet. He came in, and I was you guys probably talked to him a lot.
Oh, yeah.
He's a friend of the show.
Yeah,
certainly.
but I hadn't known him.
He's in tomorrow, matter of fact.
Is he?
Yeah.
Say hi to him, because I hadn't really talked to him since I was a doorman at the Comedy Store, And I remember like when I was there when he became big. And then about 6 months ago, I saw him do 40 minutes, and it was like it was amazing. It was hilarious, and he's talking about going to Staples with his kids, and it was like, this is a different Dice.
Yeah.
So I had him in there, and sometimes it gets very intimidating to me because you don't want to piss him off in any way. But a lot of times, because I'll sit there and just talk one-on-one for an hour, it starts to loosen up. They start talking in a way that they don't usually talk. And he told me his kid does comedy. Mm-hmm. And first of all, I couldn't even picture him having a kid. Like, I never even assumed it. He's got
boys.
Right.
I saw his kid do comedy at the store.
Right, so I called the kid, and I had him on, too.
Shit.
Just to ask him what it's like to have Dice as a dad. And he has a very well-adjusted, nice kid.
Yeah, he does.
And he's a very sweet guy. So I'm still pretty excited just
boys all right.
talking to dudes.
Although they're not boys anymore. I think they're grown men at this point.
How is Dice's 19, I think.
How is Dice's kid on
maybe.
stage?
He was pretty good. He was he was kind of like a little bit of a nerdier kid. He wasn't what you were expecting, but he was new at it, so he was doing stuff that was way more like his dad. And I was like, oh, he's just doing what he thinks he's supposed to do right now. These jokes are well written, but he's gonna come around into his voice soon and be like, the kid that's more, instead of being like, hey, he's going to be like, hey, my dad's that. I'm kind of a little bit of a nerd
It's
or whatever.
a pretty big shadow to
yeah.
to a girl, you know what I mean?
Kidding.
Yeah. Dice is on Entourage this year.
He's excited about it.
Anybody watch last night?
I cannot watch that show. I turned it on because actually I was watching something on HBO before that, and then I turned it on and I was like, I can't watch this.
That show makes me sick.
LA, whoa, fucking these guys are so extreme. They're partying. It's crazy. Really?
It makes me sick.
I never lived in that LA.
Yeah, what LA is that?
I lived in the 1-bedroom LA with like, where are my papers? Which box is it in? How come I can't find my notebook? That's how I came up in LA.
They did the same show week after week. That was the problem.
The
first. I think I made 2 seasons, and what are they up to now? 8 or 9?
I couldn't. I don't even know.
So I guess at least 5 seasons.
The lead character was like, I guess last season, because they kind of recapped a little, was all strung out on drugs and all fucked up and everything.
Yeah.
And then he got busted. And I guess they opened up the season with him in rehab.
Yeah.
And 3 months clean.
Yeah.
And he's like, sober is sexy. He's like, and it was like one of these. Oh, are they giving me a lesson?
Go
are they,
fuck
Are
yourself.
they teaching the people that he's okay now?
And what's the struggle going to be to get his trust back so he gets a movie role?
Who the fuck knows? Who gave a shit? I was watching like. Oh, yeah, man, here they go.
Yeah.
Wow, we got our 4-door Continental with the suicide doors, and we're going to fucking go out and party. And
I dated, I swear to God, this is a true story. I dated this girl once, and we were in bed one night, we were watching Entourage, and she told me, she's like, I met Adrian Grenier once at a party, and he tried to fuck me, right? And I go, really? Did you fuck him? He's insanely good looking. And she goes, no way. I didn't. No. He was all like, oh, I'm Adrian Grenier, so you're just supposed to fuck me. Can you believe that shit? And I'm like, really? Because you fucked me, dummy.
Hey, I'm Joe DeRosa, and you're supposed to fuck me.
You fucking idiot.
It's nice. It's a nice moment to have where you realize you're just your relationship is just some sort of outpouring of her low self-esteem.
Right.
Of course I fucked you. I hate myself. That must have made you feel great. You got the right girl, Joe.
I want more stories from the podcast world. I love the Jonathan Winters one.
Oh, that was.
Anyone else surprise you or disappoint you? I don't know where you want to go with this.
Well, no, I mean it's just a little weird when it's still odd because like Conan O'Brien, I asked him to do the show on his show and he agreed to it. So like with me, because there's still part of me that doesn't believe I deserve anything or that I'm in show business. Like he comes to my house.
Were you guys friends?
No, we're not. I do
really?
a show. I never spent.
I know you've been on there a bunch.
Yeah, no.
Besides that, you don't really know each other.
I have no friends. So there's very few people I hang out with. I usually find one girl and I drain her of her life essence, and that's how I live my life.
Move on. Yeah.
It's like, oh, that one's a
Continue to
husk.
live.
I'm going to move on to the. But
Mark's like the thing in Fallen. Just jumps from body to body.
like if I'm with a woman, they're excited, I'm excited. But anybody who looks at me from the outside says, "Oh, he's feeding." So
Wait, there's two things now. I want to know about Conan, but now the last time you were in the relationship, you were going out with a younger woman.
Oh yeah, and it blew up.
It's done.
Well, no, that's oh my God, dude.
It's been a while. You already were hinting like, oh fuck.
She was going to come this morning, so that's where we're at now.
Okay.
But Conan comes over. Here's what happens to me. He comes over, and I talked to him about this, a little bit on his show. Is that he comes to my house. I don't know him other than being on the show. We have an hour-long conversation. It's a great talk. He's very candid. Yeah, he's very serious. He talks about a lot of stuff. I didn't know him at all.
Right.
And then there's that moment where we leave the garage. I live in a small little house. It's 2-bedroom. It's all I can handle. I don't know how the fuck people have big houses. Yeah, because like I walk past that second bedroom every day and there's nothing in there but an empty bed and her clothes. And I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do with that room? Yeah, it makes me panicky. If I had a third bedroom, I'd kill myself because I wouldn't know what to do with it. But so he's in the garage and we walk into the living room and he's sort of lingering. Yeah, and this is Conan O'Brien. He's 6 foot tall. I only know him as Conan O'Brien, the guy who has me on his show. And he's fucking Conan O'Brien. There's this moment I have where I'm like, I got to get him out of my house. Because I have no idea how to deal with this shit. Yeah. Like, what are we going to have lunch? We can have dinner? We don't know each other. You're going to go, and I'm going to be, happy you did my podcast. But right now, I don't know how to continue this.
Yeah, please leave before I screw this up.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'm going to fuck this up somehow.
It went well. Just get out of here now.
You get that feeling, too?
To your house?
That's good to know.
So that happens a lot. Like, Paul Reiser came over, and that was kind of weird because sometimes these guys, they get sent over by their publicists if I want to get them, but they don't know who I am. And then they have that thing. It's like, what the hell is this? What are we doing here?
Oh, really?
So there's some of those moments that make me feel a little uncomfortable.
Well, what do you get out of Conan? Anything?
Yeah. I mean, I got a lot about. No breaking news other than he made a joke about having a huge cock, which is you don't expect that. And also, he talked a lot about what he studied at Harvard. I was kind of curious about the whole Harvard thing because I've always wondered, like, is there some secret system? Are you guys guaranteed entry into show business? What do they do to you over there? Is there rituals? Do you kill rabbits? What's happening at Harvard that makes it so special? But he talked about what he studied and shit. A lot of times I don't like. I interviewed David Tell. I've known Attell for 25 years, and I don't think I've had more than a 7-minute conversation with him. And if you haven't seen David Tell in like 2 years, you say, Dave, what's up? He goes, what? And then you go, and then you say, "How you been?" "Fine." "What?" And that's usually the end of it. You don't press any harder. If you're lucky, he'll shit on you somehow. So for him to sit down for an hour, that's the weird thing is because we're comics, we assume we all know each other, which we do, and I feel a real close bond with all the dudes that are in my community. But most of us have never fucking talked for more than 15 minutes.
No, dude. Aside from your kitchen, the first time I ever sat down and really talked to you was on your podcast in front of an audience of comics.
And that's what happens.
And it was great though, and I felt like, I learned a little bit about Mark today, and we didn't exchange.
That's the most flattering thing about the thing is that if I was a young comic and I had the outlet of my show, like if you were able to listen to the guys that you respect actually have a conversation for an hour, that would have blew my fucking mind.
Yeah, of course.
Well, it's like, remember when they used to have when Comedy Central first became Comedy Central, they had Inside the Comedy
Alan
Mind.
King, Inside the Comic Mind. I'm talking to Dennis Leary, a young comic.
I guess you remember.
I was like 12, but it blew me away. I wasn't even a comic yet.
Alan King, all right.
No,
you're right though.
Oh,
it did blow me away. Sorry.
That's hilarious.
Yes.
Inside the Comic Mind.
Yeah, I'm talking to one of the young guns. Robin Williams is here.
I do remember
How do you figure out how to make up things?
I totally remember that. God damn.
That's wonderful.
This fella I don't know that well, Martin Short. He does voices. Very interesting.
He interviewed Bob Hope once. I actually watched it at the Museum of Radio and Television. And it just made me depressed because it was right when Bob Hope was teetering on diapers.
Oh boy!
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
it was just too late. He was almost there.
Yeah.
But he kept drifting off and
it's too bad that those
looking
guys,
at his golf course and shit in the background. It just made me sad.
Thinking about all that Orange Grove money.
Yeah.
Owning the valley. Look at this. Nothing gets better. I just shit myself and I can't use this money at all. No amount of money is going to make me stop shitting myself.
You know what, though? That's a good thing to remember.
It sure is.
It really is.
I've had that moment in the locker room at the YMCA many times where you see, that's why you got to go to the Y, because guys from all ages go to the Y. And when you see a guy who's like 75 years old, just wrestling his balls into his fucking jockstrap, you got to have a moment where you're like, if I'm lucky, I'll have that. If I'm lucky to make it that far. Or you see the one guy, I saw a guy wearing a diaper because he had his prostate removed. And he's like there, and he's talking to guys, and he's just standing there going, it's going to happen to you. Well, it's going to happen to you.
No shame, right? He just goes with it.
But that's what's great about the Y. It's a community service to make you realize that you're mortal.
That's where you take the podcast when you run out of comics. Go start interviewing those guys.
That would be a good podcast.
Yeah,
from the Y locker room.
Yes, that's the world I live in. I would fucking do that podcast in a second.
No, I love doing stuff like that.
Fuck yeah.
I can interview this guy. I went to a guy in my neighborhood. I live in sort of a barrio, kind of a Mexican neighborhood, and I always drove by this. All the signs, like on York where I live, are hand painted. It's like Juarez down there, and then and there's an adjacent one. There's an optometrist sign, and then someone sent me this optometrist, and I said, that optometrist, and because I went to an eyeglass place in the neighborhood, and the woman's like, yeah, that dude, he plays in a jazz combo. He's like this weird. So I'm like, I got to go now. And you walk into this optometrist office in this Latino neighborhood. He's got jazz records everywhere, and he's this Jew from Indiana who plays in a jazz combo, and you just sit there getting your eyes examined. He's talking in that like weird bebop voice. Oh man, that guy could groove, dude. He got strung out, and his old lady didn't want to have nothing to do with him anymore. Can you see the bottom line? But I was like, I got to get that guy in the show,
Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh, that's fucking
good. Mark seems happy. I like this.
It's a new thing. You know what
it's all new.
Yeah.
You know what I stopped
doing? What are you doing? Maybe I can learn from you. How do you get happy?
Well, what happened was, through the arc of the podcast, I started broke, divorced, miserable. You guys knew me. And then, literally, through the arc of the podcast, I was calling comics. I don't know if they realize this, but I needed help. So, a lot of my interviews are like, I'm fucked up. What would you do? and so, somehow or another, What doesn't seem to be happening right now is I don't wake up in the morning going, what the fuck am I going to do with my life? Somehow or another, that's gone away, and that seemed to be a big problem. Yeah, I'm not beating the shit out of myself every day. Is that all right? Can I not do that?
Yeah, that's good.
I can start again. It's right there.
You got a purpose.
A little bit. I'm busy, and it's my own thing. So who am I going to get pissed off at? You know, there's no boss to get pissed off at. So if I get pissed off, it's only going to be at me.
It's on you.
Yeah. So I try not to do that too much, but it was on me before too. I never blamed the right people. But a lot of that's gone.
And you're one of those comics where you're a guy that pushes buttons, and you know, I hate using the word edgy, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I think like in that kind of forum, correct me if I'm wrong, it gives you a chance to express yourself in a much more free zone where you don't have to worry about the drunk heckling you. You don't have to worry about the stupid bitch. You know,
Her bachelorette party.
Yeah, with the bachelorette
God,
party.
I did a
you know
show.
what I mean?
But because of the podcast, he's getting more work.
Well,
I would
yeah,
assume.
but the weird
so he's
thing-
still dealing with that.
But I mean,
I don't understand your point, Joe.
My point is that I think every comic needs an outlet, right? And I think especially for a comic like Mark, when you have that other thing where it's not 100% resting
Right.
on the live performance, where you have this other zone or this outlet where you can get this stuff out, then you're not looking at the stand-up in the same light anymore.
I'm with
It's
you.
not just, I got to fucking get my feelings about this out on
All right,
stage.
now I'm on the same
it's-
page because now that I'm doing more side projects, I
Yeah.
don't care about this place at all anymore.
So you got
No, I get what you're saying because when that's all I had, I'm like, fuck, it would wear me out. But now that I
Yeah.
know I have freedom on these dumb side projects where I don't have to listen to anyone or talk to anybody, I get it.
you're
I
also-
get your point.
You're doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is like I realized that most of my career, like I don't do politics on the show. I really don't. Like I got to this point where you start to realize I used to think I was angry about something. And then if you go a little deeper, you're like, oh shit, I'm just fucking angry. You know, where do I point that? And you know, and politics can be sort of like a template for your anger. You know, you just sort of like wear it like you're gonna shoot shit. And then I started to talk, and I realized that most people's problems are just, you know, day-to-day existential bullshit problems. Yeah, because everyone's just trying to get by, and most of their energy, you know, goes into hoping people don't think they're out of their fucking mind. So that means that most people in their minds are going, oh, God, I'm an asshole. That guy's an asshole. What the fuck am I going to do? How am I going to... So I just sort of talk from that place, because it was weird. I did Bill Maher's show for the first time the other night. I did two lines of politics, and all of a sudden I'm back in this fucking firing line again. All of a sudden, like the right way, I'm on Hannity. You know, the clip is on Hannity.
Yeah.
But Bill was taking most of the hit, but I just couldn't believe to be put into that position again.
Like
where
two
all these,
words
yeah,
and
just these morons are like,
Jesus.
"Oh, someone crucify the Jew with the filthy mouth."
Do you think Air America hurt you for a while there?
Well, I think what it was is, you know, I got involved with that because I was not inherently a political comic. I was just a reactionary person, which I still am. But I mean, I got involved because I was unhappy with the Bush administration, and I wanted to help try to, you know, take it down. I mean, that's why I got involved in it. But I think in the long run, if you're involved with politics in an exclusive way, of course it's going to hurt you, because anytime you go out on the road, if you're not a big star, all they know about you, if they don't know your comedy, they don't know you, but they know you're on Air America.
Lefty.
Well, you're going to divide the room.
Lefty.
That means the righties aren't coming to see it, which
Well,
is a
yeah,
shame because Mark is an amazing
Right,
stand-up.
it's got nothing to do with
and
that.
amazing. And I think you did something smart, because I remember we would try to push you down some political avenues, and you're like, that's the old me. I remember you would deflect, like, no, I'm trying to move past that.
Right, if
and
it
I think in a
affects
way
me.
that was really smart on your part.
It was just me being honest with myself. If it affects me personally and I'm pissed off about it, I'll talk about
Sure,
it. And
sure.
you know, I've certainly got my point of view, and I am more. I am a lefty, but it's not my wheelhouse to sit there. There's too many people that do it better than me, and my comedy is really about being human. It's not about politics, because I think people hide behind that, and it drives me nuts.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
It is.
No, it does.
Yeah, it
It divides the
Especially
room.
coming
Mark's
from
right.
me. You know,
Well, it's not-
I've been called a lot of things. Never left.
But on certain issues, you have to be to do what you're doing.
I'm complete. There. See, a lot of people are like, like I'm a typical fucking right-wing Republican fucking hardliner. That's bullshit.
No, you're a
Like,
libertarian hardliner.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I'm a libertarian hardliner. No, like the
More
gay
libertarian than
marriage. Like I could
you could-
give
what
a
do you care?
shit.
Yeah.
I don't fucking care if people want to get married. That's fine. And they just showed the first couple in New York that got married.
Yeah.
And I'm not even fucking kidding.
I don't know if it was 2 guys or 2 girls. I couldn't fucking tell.
You
I
fucking
swear to you.
Republican
Yes,
piece of shit.
You motherfucker.
You fucking
I think
closed-minded.
they were old people. They were real old.
How old?
And they were either old men or old ladies. I swear I couldn't tell.
Doesn't matter. They're people. They're people. If they love each other, let them have it.
Of course.
Here it is. They were gals, first of all.
Gals?
One is 85 and one is 77.
That's sweet. That's the gay
Jesus,
community
they
being
look like-
represented in
Why do you
marriage.
need to get married at 85?
They look like twins, though.
I know they're well, they're
Because
old.
they spent their
Gray hair
entire
and
life
glasses.
not being able to publicly acknowledge or honor their. Christ, they lived in a time. If they've been together for 40 years, just the fact that they're doing that in that picture would have meant they'd been thrown out of a village.
Look how old they are.
They've been
Yes.
run out of the village.
These 2 eligible gals, gentlemen.
But let me ask
take
you
a look.
something.
Why isn't that dance card being punched?
Yeah,
Let
the
me
one
ask you something about libertarianism.
Yeah.
Basically, all you really want is you want to keep your money and you want people to stay out of your yard.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's all.
That,
we
you know
all
what?
want.
it.
You're absolutely right.
Everybody wants that.
And if you're going to be in my yard, I have a gun to keep you out of my yard.
Right, I'm
And
allowed to have it.
Leave my money alone.
Right.
And I can have my own police force. I'm it.
That's pretty much
Yeah,
it. That's
if my
what I
house
like.
catches on fire, I got a hose. I'm not
I
paying
get a
for the fire
hose.
department.
Fuck it. I'll take care of it myself.
All right.
I'm not paying for anything. I don't want anything from you.
Stay out of my
I
yard.
like teetering on anarchy.
Sure,
Tell you the
sure.
truth, just
Legalize
whoa.
drugs. Just keep the drunkies out of my yard.
Right.
All right. I understand.
This is a new Marc Maron. I like it.
I love that.
You took,
Well, I
all,
get it.
you took all your vitamins?
Oh God, dude! It's gotten to the point where I talk about it on stage. Like I can't even be critical of religious people anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I take vitamins.
Vitamins.
And I believe they work. And if that isn't dogma, I don't know what the hell is. I don't know what the fuck they do, but if I don't take them for 2 days, I think something horrible is going to happen to me, and I'm a bad person.
I get a vegetable drink every day. I figure
but-
there's enough vitamins in that shit.
Because see, I'm getting older. I don't know what's wrong with my heel. I don't know how it happened, but now I walk with a limp occasionally. When did that happen?
It
For
just
no reason.
happens.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
No, it's this we've all been mined. I'm training with this guy at a gym, and he's like you got to get protein powder and drink it, right? And
gonna
make
get-
shit. Yeah, and I'm like, okay, and he's like, you have to do it. It's one of your meals every day. I'm like, okay, and I buy the shit. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, I'm not fucking doing this. I'm not on a space shuttle right now. I'm not making this fucking... It's literally like fucking future food, like the way they make you eat now. Powder into fucking drinks and pellets and shit like that.
How old are
It's
you?
ridiculous, 33.
Well, you can still
See,
do it.
because that shit puts fat on you.
Oh
man.
yeah, if you don't pump it out,
You
like
have
if you
to.
know, yeah,
You have to run around like a fucking 12-year-old to make
you
sure
got to make it muscle.
it doesn't turn into
Which
fat.
I'm not going to be doing.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying this might be bad for you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
those guys who eat
I went
protein-
down the protein fucking
Yeah.
route a couple years ago. I was like, what the fuck? It
Yeah.
adds weight on
Oh,
you.
you got to work
fast.
out,
Unless you're running around like a
and you
lunatic
put
all day
pumping the
long.
iron. It's to make your muscles.
I was working
big.
out a
Yeah.
lot, but it was like I couldn't keep up with it.
Those guys that are huge, they
Right.
eat,
Yeah,
they just
yeah.
they feed on protein
Right.
powder and they shit antimatter. They just it's
Terrible
all
that
about
protein powder, because then in 10 years go by and whatever muscle you had will fucking
Fat.
start fucking
But
falling. on you.
but the point is, like, I don't understand. Like, they didn't have these fucking pellets and powders
Right.
30 years ago, let alone whatever.
And you
it's
had
like,
the in shape, out of shape guys.
yeah, it's
We love talking about it on
barrel
this
with
show.
the barrel chest and gut. But
Oh,
they were
God.
like, yeah.
nothing's funnier than like, when a guy that's too old puts on muscle and he's hunched like this. With fucking,
or they don't work out right and they're all neck.
I see those guys in the gym.
They just like they look like a human cock.
Yeah. So you got a trainer that wants you. There you go.
Oh no!
That's a perfect
Oh,
example.
no.
So you got a trainer that wants you to do protein drinks and
he's
protein
telling me
powder
to
and
do
all that,
protein drinks and shit. I'm like, dude, I
and he
bought.
insists on it.
He doesn't batter me. I don't know. What
How
the
about you just
fucking
get
word
on a
is.
good exercise program and try to eat a little better?
He's got
That's
me on
all
one.
we all need.
I've been eating decently, and he's not a Nazi. He's like, you can have some bacon and eggs in the morning. It's good protein. He's not a Nazi about it, but he is big on the vitamins and all that shit. And it just makes me feel like it's like Planet of the Apes or some shit. You know what I mean?
I like when I take a piss and it looks like the inside of a glow stick.
That's a fun morning.
Fuck happened. Yeah. The vitamins though will do that. It's,
I used to do the vitamin
it
packs.
stains the front of your fucking underwear.
Yeah, those
You know
white,
what?
yellow fucking drips.
You really are an old man.
It
These
stains the front of my
My skivvies.
skivvies with the drip.
You don't stain your underwear yet?
No.
Wait a minute.
fuck.
Wait. What do you mean standing?
No, that's if you just don't shake enough.
You
You
know,
know.
you
Yeah, I
drop,
get that.
they get a
Yeah,
droplet
I
or
get
two.
that. So
and-
that's all right.
I
That's
think
not
so.
because I don't know what the hell's happening.
If you just take a quick piss and you want to get and you run back out,
Yeah.
you're like, maybe I should have shook a little bit.
What about peeing in the night? See, now like I'm still like last night I'm at the hotel with the girl and I got up to pee like 3 times, but I also had 4.
shit.
No, I had 4 iced teas at
Oh,
dinner.
okay. All
So I
right.
mean, when
Jesus
I
Christ.
can't
For that reason.
when is my prostate going to fall out of my ass? What age does that happen?
I'll tell you this much: I can't drink liquids past 5, or I will get up in the middle of the
What
night.
the fuck is wrong with you guys?
And
don't
I've
think
been
I've
checked
ever
out.
gotten up to
I've been
piss at
checked
night.
out. I'm fine. but,
Yeah, it's like
how the fuck do you not piss at night?
I drink.
because the alcohol dehydrates me.
Yeah, I don't pee till the next morning. In fact, I can wake up with a piss boner and still fall asleep for another 2 hours with it. Just fight through it.
I'd rather
I do that, 'cause you
sleep
don't
is
wanna get
more
up.
valuable to me.
Yeah,
than
How
yeah.
impressive!
Yeah.
How impressive are piss boners, by the way?
Very exciting.
You're like,
you want to wake
fuck
people up.
yeah, you want to show the world.
Yeah.
Look what this thing can still fucking do.
Yeah. I wish I could.
reason.
With a little urine in it.
Yeah, if this thing didn't hurt so bad, I'd try to fuck somebody with it.
It's like a math class boner. Where did that come from?
You think Gus and Elmer got married their aunt?
Gus and Elmer, were they in New York?
Or maybe
yeah,
one
they
of
were
those
like
guys
real
died.
old school.
Our
gay
favorite gay
guys,
couple
yeah.
ever was Gus and Elmer.
And the only thing I could ever think of is them growing up like during the war and things and being together with they're just like, hey ladies, here's 2 eligible bachelors, and just knowing like,
all the string of dates they went on that they knew were going nowhere.
That was just nowhere. They went on double dates together just so they could be with each other.
Yeah.
On the
During
way
the
home.
Depression, you go wait in the bread line. I'll lube up the dildos.
Yeah, what are these 2? And they're always seen together. That's right, ladies. What a catch these 2 would make. Fresh back from the war. It's Gus and Elmer. They're roommates for life. Just not knowing, or caring or wanting to say that they're gay.
Was there a whole society that just didn't want to acknowledge gay people?
Yeah.
we weren't
We're
around.
living in it.
I mean, we've seen
Yeah.
changes, obviously. I'm
No,
going
no,
back
yeah.
to like, our parents' generation
Oh,
and
see,
stuff.
they-
They had to know people walking around that were gay. What did they do? Just make believe that wasn't
Look,
happening?
no, they pushed him into the priesthood.
That's true. You know what? You're right.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, I really
isn't
believe
even a
that's true.
joke.
That like in a community where they're like, the O'Grady boy seems a little light in the loafers.
Yeah.
Maybe we should push them towards the clergy because they were so
Yeah.
ashamed at the possibility of one of their kids being gay that they press them further into it and make them feel horrible and ashamed. I really believe that a lot of that is true.
It's a great point. Yeah.
But what if you weren't Catholic? Then what did the
Didn't matter.
Jewish gay
As long as
do?
you're
What did they
gay.
do? You married your mother. I mean, more Jewish mothers have created more homosexual men than I think. Because no one's good enough for them. They're perfect.
I guess back then it was just one more thing to hide. You were probably already hiding that you were Jewish from a lot of people. So they
Now
were
you got
just
to pass on
Yeah,
two
might as
levels.
well.
You gotta
I bet
pass
I
it.
like cock too.
Yeah, pass it straight and not. See, now I'm going to get flack for saying created. Look,
Of
you're,
course.
you're born with it, but sometimes there are other circumstances.
But when
that will
you walk around
help
New
it
York,
along, mommy.
when you walk around New York, you see all the gay people. It's obvious, right? For the most part.
Yeah.
Like what happened 2 generations ago?
They-
Were
what do you
guys
mean?
and
They-
women just acting like?
So I was called
Yeah.
in the
Straight.
closet.
They got married.
no,
Yeah,
dude.
fuck.
I just watched.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's
but you see
horrible.
some of these guys walking around. You're like, there's no way he could have acted straight.
Dude, I just watched.
There's no way. But I mean,
I-
2
yeah.
generations ago, how did they do it?
They were beat up. They were shunned. They did
Yeah,
everything
I-
they could to hide it. You know, a lot of them got married.
And then we talk about this. Then you had someone like Liberace would go on the talk shows, and they would always ask him, "When are you going to settle down and get a woman? You know,
Yeah,
get a,
yeah,
I'll
all
find
Are you kidding me?
Right.
Even Regis would do
Jesus.
that.
right."
They all
Like,
played
early
along.
on. What are you
Hollywood,
gonna do?
They all
always
just
played
played along. I think.
Where's your wife already? Why don't you settle down?
What's wrong
Get
with
married?
you? Right.
We're gonna have Lee on the show.
And then it's like Lee is coming out and he's all flamboyant and doing everything. It's like,
You gotta, the ladies love Liberace.
He was on WrestleMania.
Oh Christ!
First WrestleMania, or the second one, Liberace is on it. He's in the fucking ring, the wrestling ring with the Rockettes doing kicks.
kick line.
And wrestling fans were like, I like that Liberace.
Yeah.
He's
How
a
do you not
guy's
like
guy.
him?
But
He's
nobody
a
asked
man's
him.
man.
Jesus.
Literally.
Kicking.
Dude.
A man's man kicking with the Rockettes.
On Netflix, I just watched Life of Riley. It was Charles Nelson Riley's one-man show. that he
Right.
did.
Another one. Another one.
Now, I swear to God, I turned this thing on, think it was going to be campy, funny. Fucking riveting. One of the best one-man shows I've ever
Wow,
seen.
really?
Laughed my balls off. It's poignant, sad, hilarious.
When was it
I loved
done?
it. Like 2006,
That's pretty
right
okay.
before he died.
Yeah.
So I looked him up online. He talks about how he's gay in it, and they said on Wikipedia that fucking show was the first time he ever publicly announced that he was gay.
Well,
And that was 4 years ago.
did he have to
Yeah, it was
really
like 3 years
announce
before
it?
he died. He finally came out and said it. It's like Paul Lynde. Like nobody ever talked about it. Like
Oh, that was hilarious.
Yeah,
Come
but
on.
it's willful. The thing is like most people who watch that stuff, it's willful ignorance. You know, they kind of know,
Right.
But all of a sudden, when someone says "I suck cock," then they're like, "Oh God, that guy sucks cock." But before he was just a funny guy. Yeah, but they knew anyways. I think a lot of people have more trouble with the publicity or the being public about it. Like I think that would sort of speak to
you don't
what
want
you're
to
saying.
think the
It's like,
center square is gay. Paul Lynde, you wanted to be like,
he's funny.
I'm
He's
taking the
saying-
cocksucker for the block.
well,
You just knew he was gay.
Right, and I think that
Well,
speaks to
that
what you're talking
that
about.
explains celebrity, but I was just wondering about just regular fucking Joes walking around.
Well, they hit
I'm
it.
not gay.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Oh, come on. Come on. That was cheap. Sorry. I couldn't resist.
It's a tough life. I mean, and that's the weird thing about people who say they choose it. It's like, why would they choose that?
Yeah, I don't know.
In a sense, and I'm not meaning that in a negative way, but it's not the easy path.
No.
Who
Who wants to choose the horrible path?
I think there's-
or what seems to be.
difficult. It's
difficult, we should say. You're right.
I
culturally
think there are
difficult.
two types of gay people. There are ones that are born gay, and then there's a few like wannabes. It just
That's called college.
I think is it college
Yeah,
and
the confusing time.
drunk, a little too
Well,
drunk.
where's
one
that
night.
wannabe come from, though?
I
Maybe
don't
that's
know.
already
it's,
in you.
It's like anybody else. There's
They have a great time.
a
Are you kidding me?
society of people that you want to be part of.
These are grown people that still enjoy dancing. I mean, why wouldn't you want to be part of that? They've got a lot of
All right, you sold me.
They got a lot of disposable income. They wear
Yes.
nice clothing. And I'm
Very
generalizing, but I think these are relatively effective
Nice,
generalization.
There's a gay bar in my neighborhood,
Oh, yeah.
and I pass it every time I walk to Bobby Kelly's house.
You can't admit you probably went in there to check it out.
Opie, I want to go in so bad. They look like they're having the greatest fun. I think
Just a
Bobby even does a
blast,
bit
right?
about this on stage, but I think it's the same bar. It looks like they're I'm literally stand outside of that thing like fucking Dan Aykroyd in Trading Places in the Santa Claus suit, just fucking looking in like that looks like the best.
That's funny because being straight is like wearing a Santa Claus suit to them. They're like, what is that guy wearing?
Yeah. Who would walk around like that?
And Bobby does a bit on it, huh?
I think Bobby does a bit about that gay bar.
A bit.
Yeah, that means-
I'm sure Bobby's
A
doing
bit.
That
a
means his
bit.
wife caught him in there. He's like, nah, man, I'm just getting a bit together. And now he has to do the bit for the next 10 years.
Bobby Kelly would be a great gay guy.
Oh,
Oh,
you're
you
the best
would.
gay
Because
guy.
he's
Yeah,
most of the way there, I think, isn't he?
He's pretty far there. You kissed Bobby.
Yeah, I did.
You did?
Yeah.
How was that? How was that?
Sam had kissed Bobby.
Well, Sam has kissed many guys. Where does
Not
Bobby?
many.
How many?
Like tongue? I mean, tongue?
Three. No tongue.
Oh.
Sam has kissed 3
homeless
guys.
guy.
So,
Homeless guy.
where
You
does
kissed
Bobby
a homeless
rank?
guy?
Yeah.
Just because?
Well, no, it was for a failed
Make
TV
a wish.
pilot.
Make a wish.
Was that worth it? The pilot didn't even
Failed
go?
TV pilot.
Why you-
Called Kiss. The twink kisses the gay guy.
You decided to take a shot at us right
What
there.
do you mean?
we were the failed TV pilot.
Oh, I forgot.
Did you? Comedy Central with the worst idea ever.
It was no idea. That's
Really?
why.
Which one was that?
We had we got involved with a no idea.
Yeah.
We do
Literally.
that every time.
What does that
though.
mean?
Every time
they
someone-
signed it for a few bucks, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know
and they go,
the deal.
yeah, go ahead. You guys do a funny radio show. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Just
try it.
Be
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Do something.
With no money.
Well,
There's
like-
no money. Do it.
Well, what's the gist of this? Nah, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It was.
Did you shoot something?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the producer.
The main guy at Comedy
That's
Central ended up getting fired, I think, over us.
Oh, really?
I don't know. He left soon after.
Yeah.
I was there when you guys were taping.
He showed
was
up at
horrible.
one of the tapings and wouldn't even talk to me in there, and I'm like, oh, boy.
It was horrible.
He realized
there was
holy
nothing
shit,
going
what did I
on.
get
It was
myself
stupid.
into?
Hated that.
There was literally not an
Just
idea.
walking around, just going, "What is this? I don't get this."
Wasn't it like Keith Robinson had to kickbox Voss or something like that? Or
Oh,
I
right.
guess.
Yeah, I guess so. And that sounds
does that
entertaining,
mean?
actually.
I don't know. I
There were
would have liked to have
comics.
seen it.
Yeah.
We were getting comics to do kind of like Jackass / Fear Factor type
stuff.
things.
It made no sense.
And then they would get points, and then you would have a winner by the end of the episode. But the winner got, I don't know, nothing really.
Yeah.
It was
So
the
what was the
dumbest
point of
fucking
doing
thing.
it?
In America,
if there wasn't a real
yeah,
prize.
games that don't pay off, they don't like it. I hosted.
Right.
I'm so glad it didn't work out.
And
I
then
hosted
comics,
that horrible show.
And then
Which
you
one?
learn comics don't really want to do anything.
No, I knew that.
To humiliate themselves.
right.
Like, why am I going to fucking eat this?
Aren't
this
we doing?
pig snot?
Aren't we doing enough?
Yeah.
No, I understand.
Yeah,
I'm not even trashing
Right,
you guys,
right, right.
but it's Comedy Central. They should have known.
What was
so
that
half
other
the time
show?
was trying to convince these guys to do stuff that they were never going to fucking
They didn't
do.
want to do.
I hosted it like I did. When VH1 was trying to retool itself, and they had Zach as the poster boy, Galvanakis. Remember, there was about a year there where he was on every bus with the silly hat and everything. I had signed a deal. That was after my first divorce. I was broke, so I signed a deal to host this. Never mind the Buzzcocks, which was a popular British show, which is basically a pseudo game show with improvising and sort of B-list celebrities and whatnot. I had no idea. I couldn't. I don't have enough compartmentalization ability to host a fucking game show. I didn't know what the game was. I wasn't that into music in the trivia sense. Certainly not modern music. But the point I was making is that it was sort of a game show, and comics would come on and like some musical people, but there was no prize.
Yeah.
And, like in America, if you're watching a game show, someone better win something.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't make sense.
Or not win something.
right.
Either or is
So,
fine.
I'm so glad it didn't go over. I mean, literally, no one saw it. It went away. They didn't even run all the episodes. I got out of the bankruptcy, and I was like, thank God.
Well,
Thank God.
What happened at the end of the show when the winner was
I don't
declared?
remember anything. There
got no
was
nothing?
Well, no, there was like each side had an improv person. It was Matt Price and I forget the Brogdon something. I can't remember her first name. So they were regulars, and then you get somebody like Coolio and Bert Kreischer on one side, and then you have Sebastian Bach and another and Mo what's his name? What's the commentary?
Mo Rocca.
Mo Rocca. So then you do these trivia questions and improv games, and then they declare a winner, and that'd be the end of it. But I couldn't. It was horrible.
Yeah. The loser has to listen to Coolio and Sebastian Bach perform.
I think if you look up VH1, never mind the Buzzcocks, there's still like a promotional page for the show.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I was emaciated. Oh my God, look at that.
Wow.
Wow.
What year is that?
Meet the host. What year was that? 2000 maybe? 2001?
Yeah.
There it is, Daphne Brogdon. That was the other one. Matt Price is a funny kid. He's on. That was sad that show got canceled. Men of a Certain Age. What a fucking
That show
great
got
show.
canceled?
I don't
The
know.
Ray Romano show?
Yeah, it was great.
It did?
Yes.
When?
Just now. It just happened in my
They
head.
just were advertising the
I just canceled it.
They were just advertising the second season.
I know they didn't renew it.
Wow, I didn't know.
It's so sad because
I
it
never
was
saw
it was such a great show. Man.
That's a bummer.
We should break here. So we got Marc Maron. What are we promoting? Obviously, What the Fuck podcast, WTF.
Yeah, I mean,
where do they go for the podcast?
They go to WTFpod.com. That's good. The most recent 50 are up there. You got your the Conan, the Fallon, the I think Jonathan Winters is definitely still up. But you can get the app and get all of them if you want.
I know what I'm going to ask you about after the break, Gallagher.
Okay.
We've had some good times with Gallagher.
Yeah,
We'll get into it after the break.
It's a baby.
yeah. There's some issues there.
Anything else you're promoting? That's it?
Yeah, no, the WTFpod.com.
Well, that's a biggie.
I'm going to Montreal this week. I'm doing 2 shows at the Bell House Live WTFs, but they're sold out, so next time.
What a great life. And Joe, what do you got, brother?
Montreal as well this week. Burr and me and Bobby Kelly are doing Cheat Live at Cafe Cleopatra. It's starting tomorrow night, 10:30.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Cool.
Those shows will do just
yeah.
fine. All right, more with these guys. Stay there.
This is the Opie and Anthony Show. Opie and Anthony on the Virus. Sirius XM. Sirius XM. The Virus. This is the Opie and Anthony Show. The Opie and Anthony Show.
All right, we're hanging with Marc Maron and Joe DeRosa. Show's flying by today.
Yeah.
My God.
Ooh, Little Faith No More.
Yeah. Right.
That's for you, Joe. Trust me, that's for you. Big Faith No More fan right there.
Yeah.
Any Amy Winehouse fans, by the way?
I like
we
that.
haven't really
I like
talked
that
about.
record. I mean, I don't know how many records she did, but the big one I liked. I thought she was great.
Yeah, her big hit.
Yeah,
Her big
the
hit
Rehab
album.
hit. No, I liked her. It's a sad thing when anyone dies like that.
That's
Yeah, it's a
such young
waste.
age.
I wasn't into her, but she was really
Such a
talented.
young age. But
Good sound.
I like that everybody just knows when it's coming.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the weird thing is it's no surprise.
Yeah, but people
anymore.
write about it, like the papers, especially the English media.
Yeah.
With those rag papers that they got. Just constantly following her and saying, "Wow, look how fucked up she is and everything." And then when she dies, it's like, "Oh, well, way before her time should have been." It's like you're the one that's just following her around, counting how many drugs.
I think Rupert Murdoch killed her. I think
just to get some of the heat off of him for a little while.
Yeah, they really act like they had nothing to do with it. It was remember when Britney Spears collapsed in L.A.?
Yeah.
I was in L.A. when that happened, and they were literally that day following her around and announcing her location to location on the radio. And then they come out and go, "We don't know why she collapsed."
Yeah, we have no idea.
Just running from them.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, there's the video of them taking out the body, actually.
Oh, God.
But she didn't die way before her time. I'm surprised she made it to 27.
Well, that's the sad thing that people I don't think really talk about enough is that, if you're fucked up like that, if you're strung out like that, if you have the bug that bad, alcoholism or drug addiction, no one can stop you. No one can stop. It's the saddest thing in the world that it's like, because in your mind, you're like, can't look at yourself. Can't you just stop it? It's a fucking sickness, and nobody can stop you but yourself.
Yeah.
Your willingness to do it. It's tragic.
It's a very unfair burden because it's like, look, Aunt, you care for a drink now and again.
I like to imbibe.
I love how you just sugarcoated that joke.
So often.
I think I had a few drinks with Anthony this
I wasn't out,
past Friday night, right?
alone till 3 a.m. on Friday night.
That felt good. By the way, yeah, we went out drinking and then we got pizza. I ate my pizza was gone by the time I walked the 2 blocks
Oh, the
home.
2 blocks home. Yeah.
How many?
God.
A slice?
2
Anyone could do that.
slices, but I'm just walking drunk, fucking zigzagging, shoving pizza in my. It was a sad
He
sight.
was that guy, just shoving pizza down his throat.
I used to.
Did he keep up with you, Aunt?
Oh,
Joe?
please. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Joe?
He keeps
hang
right
with the
up.
old
The
days,
worst
dog.
thing about
Hang on.
But wait, real quick. The point is that
take your time.
it's the point is that I like to drink. A lot of guys like to drink. I feel really sorry for guys where it's like you have one beer, and eventually, whether it's a matter of hours or days, your fucking life will be in shambles.
Feed
Right.
the monster.
It's just
you
something's
you
going
woke
to
up
fuck
the
up.
monster.
Yeah.
Woke up the monster.
I haven't. I'm coming up on 12 years sober, and I went to a concert the other night with the girl. Someone got me tickets to Soundgarden, and some dude next to me. Yeah, because I really don't think about it much. I mean, the whole obsession to drink and do drugs has sort of left me. But I'm at a concert. She doesn't really want to be there. It's like an old rock concert. I'm like, I got free tickets. I love Soundgarden, so I'm there. The guy next to me politely taps me on the shoulder. He goes, "You mind if I smoke?" And I'm like, "Nah, go ahead." And he's smoking this joint, and I feel it wafting over, and I'm like, "I'm not doing anything wrong. Just standing here." I'm not doing anything wrong. Wait, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm all right right now. I'm relapsing. Oh shit! All right, that's good. That's good. But
Pot smoke smells so fucking good.
I know.
I don't smoke pot, but when it's around,
I have skunks in my yard. And some part of my brain's like, "This ain't bad. That smells not bad."
Was it you that tweeted that Chris Cornell was one of the greatest rock voices ever?
I did.
That was you,
yeah.
right?
I got a little flack for that, but you know what?
I didn't disagree with that.
Well, the thing, I love rock music.
Hey,
I like
you're a
the rock.
rocker.
Russ Maneve actually said that to me. I said I used the phrase rock and roll in the sentence. He goes, who still says rock and roll? But
Rock and roll.
Name
I like to rock around the clock.
name your music choices just so we know where you're coming from.
I come from a lot of places. I mean,
Fair enough.
Like with Chris Cornell and with Soundgarden, the thing that was weird about going to the show is I used to listen to them in the early '90s when they were on Sub Pop. So the girl I'm dating, she was like, well, they were kind of like kind of jock rock when I was a kid. So she came in at the two big albums, but I was there for the first 3 or whatever, and they played songs from those. Like I don't listen to it much anymore, but when I was in the concert, I was amazed at how much of that shit I knew. And the thing that amazed me the most was that his voice sounds great, and I realized I was just being a fanboy, and I was like, holy shit, I could listen to that guy sing anything. And that's when someone tweeted that he was one of the best rock singer, and I agreed because there's very few guys that can do that you just want to hear sing.
Yeah, and when you take away all the instruments and stuff and just hear his voice,
it's amazing. And they're pretty stripped down. There wasn't much of a show. They were just dudes playing, and I like seeing that. Like no one dressed up.
You know the song "Seasons" he did, right?
I'm not sure if I know that.
Oh wow,
Is it great?
It's from the single soundtrack.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he did it officially with Soundgarden or
Yeah.
not. It's
Seasons?
Yeah, it's stripped down, man. It's mostly just him. You got that? Just a little taste?
It's pretty effortless what he does.
I think it's Seasons, right,
amazing.
Ant? Do you remember that song?
No.
That single soundtrack was amazing.
I just, I there's a lot of great rock singers. Whenever you get into that dialogue of like who's the best or
I
whatever,
know,
it's like ridiculous.
Well, who else would you
Can't
put on that
argue it.
list?
The greatest rock singers?
Yeah,
Well,
just
there's a lot of guys that are great. I mean, Joe Cocker was pretty great in his prime. Robert Plant was pretty great in his time. Paul Rogers from Bad Company early on was great.
I like Paul Rogers.
Great.
Yeah.
Eddie Vedder's got a great voice.
love Eddie Vedder.
And then there are the blues guys.
I think Mercury
is-
takes the cake, though.
Yeah, Mercury.
I really
I never listened to a lot of Queen though.
Listen to Chris Cornell when it's just stripped down and pretty much him and an acoustic guitar. It's just a piece.
He's got great range, is what it is too. He could.
Is this going to remind me of something sad?
Probably.
I remember when I was
Nice long
young and I had
intros.
this girl.
He's about ready to come.
I remember this from the movie.
Yeah, this song.
I don't remember this
ridiculous.
movie.
I love this movie.
Another song radio just blew off. That they
Did
shouldn't
they?
have. Yeah, they never.
Here he
played this.
comes, right? I feel it. I like that we're all just listening to a song.
It's all right.
I know.
Yeah, it's
We
great.
don't have ratings here. Who cares? We'll play the whole fucking album if we want to.
And Chris will get a check from Sound Exchange.
Yeah, give him throw him a few more bucks.
It's going to kick in, right? I feel it.
Yeah, he's got to bring it on home.
Oh, you don't like it when it's this mellow?
No, it's too mellow. It's a
Mellow
waste.
for you?
It's like
You-
driving a Ferrari
you
at
want to hear
fucking
that, like-
30 miles an hour. Yeah, yeah. You need him fucking
Aaron Lewis is coming
his
in
vocals up.
from Stained. I love Aaron Lewis's voice.
Yeah, I
Did you like Lane Staley?
I don't know who's that.
Alice in Chains?
I didn't listen to them a lot.
He's all right.
I
Lane,
got some
I love
blind
Alice in
sides.
Chains.
I got some blind spots with the music.
Lane
Yeah.
Staley's all right, but Lane Staley, there's a difference, I think, between frontmen and vocalists, and then the guys that can do both. You know what I mean? It's like David Lee Roth and Lane Staley I put in frontman category. They front the band well, and they have a very good, distinct, unique voice, but they don't have anywhere near the capability of a Chris Cornell or Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, there's a difference between
or versatility.
Yeah,
you
that
know?
unique thing versus like real real pipes.
Yeah.
You are
got
gonna
there's two
catch
categories.
So much
shit.
fucking hell for saying that.
Really?
What-
I
but-
just know.
What did I
this is
say
gonna-
bad?
That Lane Staley doesn't
You
have
kind
that.
of put him in the same category as David Lee Roth.
Vocally.
No, no,
David Lee
no,
Roth
no.
couldn't
What
sing
I'm
a
saying is-
fucking note.
Okay.
Mark Lanigan was good.
Have you
too,
ever
from
heard
Spain.
Lane
Fucking love
Staley
Mark Lanigan.
scream
So underrated.
and fucking like the Rooster when he fucking really
Lane
gets up
Staley
there?
is the
Iggy
best
Pop,
guy.
Iggy Pop's a great singer.
Lane Staley's the
Yeah,
best guy
yeah.
ever at going like this. Oh
my God. Oh God! God help your Twitter account. God help your Twitter account.
I'm sure that's going to help you saying that. I get hate tweets all week for the shit I said on Fox.
Oh,
and-
believe me, I know.
here we
yeah.
go. Now we're going to
He
double it
died-
up with
he
this.
died of dope too, right?
Yeah,
He died very alone. They found him like I forgot how long. Like, he shut out
he
so
was
many
laying there
people
for
that
a
he was
while.
laying there for
Like
a
his
while.
cat was eating him or something, right?
Yeah,
Wasn't his cat
Just
something
about.
happened.
Just about.
His cat was going
Just
meow,
about.
meow,
Yum,
meow,
yum, yum, yum.
just nibbling on his kneecap.
That's the worst part.
By the way, I made a lot of jokes about Amy
so lame.
Winehouse over the weekend, and I'm right there with the Lane Staley jokes, and I love Lane Staley. So relax,
course.
everybody.
Flag.
You got to joke about this shit.
What joke did you make about Amy? I was afraid to make a joke about her because I honestly got that feeling of like, it's too soon.
Too
I got to let
soon?
this sit for a
Yeah,
minute.
but that's how it used to be. But now with Twitter, people are like, "Fuck that too soon shit. I got to get my stuff out there
Are you saying
immediately."
that
Yeah.
Twitter's just such a-
Twitter's thoroughly killed anyone's ability to be empathetic? Or,
Yeah.
it's awful.
There's no need for human
The
feelings in the world
jokes
of
about
Twitter.
this, you could read the first announcement and go, holy shit, Amy Winehouse is dead. Amy Winehouse joke would be like the next fucking line. And it's like, it doesn't give you time to kind of wait
man.
and then go, hey, I got a joke.
There
You
was an unwritten-
Need another 7 astronauts, get it?
There was
what?
there always was an unwritten rule, but not anymore. Not
No.
with this
Well, I
social
think that-
network. You got to
well,
get your
that's-
shit out.
Yeah,
If you're gonna go down that road, is what I'm
Well,
saying.
no. I mean, people do it, but I think that we get caught up in the pace of the way the social networking thing goes, and we really forget that, like, hey, there's a person and a family connected to this. You know what I mean? That some people are genuinely hurt, but but when you're sitting there just looking at your Twitter feed, no, you didn't know her, but you're a person.
I didn't know her. I didn't fucking know her. Fuck that bitch.
You know, you do make a good point, though.
No, but I understand it. I mean, I've made my own mistakes with that. Sure, I mean, you got to fight the urge, but there are times. Well, the thing I was going to say about drug addiction. Here's the fucked up thing: is like if you guys like you drink or you get fucked up, you eat pizza or whatever. But the saddest moment that I remember about doing coke is that I'd go down to Avenue B. I'd go to this guy's house. I'd score the coke, and this is how you know you're a fucked up drug addict is when the bar is closing. You're coked up, and you're at a bar where there's literally just you and some other guy at the end of the bar, and it's 4 a.m, and you're thinking something's going to happen. So this shit's going to turn around.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, the party's about to start.
This thing's going to turn around.
That's when you know, like,
shit.
I am lost.
You just scared me in there.
Oh, yeah?
What year were you going down to the avenues? That's the Lower East Side, man.
Yeah. Well, no, this guy ran sort of a coke salon. It was not like I wasn't on the street. You went up to his house.
They've
and,
sort of cleaned up those areas.
People be hanging out. And, he was one of those guys that he'd put coke out for everybody, but it was kind of stepped on. But it kept people around. You know what I mean? It's like a little party.
The party going.
Yeah.
I used to do coke when I was in Geneseo, but it had to be stepped on so much that I don't think I officially ever did coke.
You know what the funny?
I'm not even joking. Like, what kind of coke were we getting at a state school in upstate New York?
I was at this guy's house. I used to be the early bird because I was married at the time, and I had this thing in my head where I'm like, if I get my coke in early, I can get home and go to bed, and she won't know. So I would be calling the guy at like 5:30 in the afternoon. The sun wasn't even down, so I'd be like the first guy at the house, and he's still closing the blinds. And when I was there once, when this weird little Latino dude who looked like he was 100 showed up with a ball wrapped in tinfoil to give to the guy. So I was there when the stuff came.
It actually made delivery. Yeah.
Right. So I'm sitting there, and then I'm like, well, put some of that out. And the guy's like, all right. So he shaves a little off this rock. He puts it out. I do 2 lines. I felt something I'd never felt in my life. I could feel all of my brain cells just peel back, and I literally felt God's cock, like in my head. And I say to the guy, I say, like, Jesus, why don't you sell that? And he looks at me and goes, because people would never leave me alone.
You got to step on it just to fucking, it's just like all the rest of the shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like all the rest of the stuff out here.
I remember I was in Alabama one time, and this chick, I had plans with this chick after the show, and she comes in with this other girl and this guy, and she's like, look, she was supposed to hang out with me at the hotel. She's like, look, we gotta go. This guy's gotta make a coke deal. So I'm like, all right. She goes, I'm gonna leave and come back. And I'm like, no, you're not. I'm gonna come with you because you're not gonna come back. I ended up in her fucking trailer. I'm not exaggerating. Her trailer in the woods in Alabama and Birmingham. And they break out all this coke, and they're doing lines. They're like, do you want any? Do you want any? I'm like, no, I'm good. Then I'm like, all right, I'll do a little. Yeah. And then just like you said, you think it's going to turn around. Flash forward, it's 7 a.m.
Oh, and you're still in a trailer.
I'm in the trailer, in the kitchenette of the trailer with the dealer.
Yeah.
And we're screaming at each other how we're the only 2 people that understood how brilliant Star Wars Episode 1 was. Just waiting to fuck this girl. I'm going to fuck her. 8 a.m., 9 a.m.
It's going to come, something's going to happen. She's going to come out and say, yeah.
And then all you end up doing is jerking off to save your life. It's like, you're sitting there, like your heart's pounding, like, I don't want to die. Maybe I'll jerk off for 4 hours, see how that goes. And then the sun comes up, and you barely...
I tried to go to sleep in her bed. She had a kid, but the kid wasn't there.
Oh, this keeps getting better.
Yeah.
Wow.
How old was the kid?
The kid was like 4. The kid was at her dad's. I tried to go to sleep in her bed. You know when you get like the coke chills, like you're cold?
Yeah.
And I'm in her bed, and I'm all cold. I'm just grinding my fucking
Your
teeth.
little bed in a trailer?
And I'm
this
in the
is horrible.
I'm in the chick's bed.
This is terrible.
And I'm like, I got to put something on the TV,
Yeah.
And I found a videotape of The Secret of Nim that was her daughter's. And I put it on. I'm like, I remember this movie. This is good. This is going to calm me down.
Yeah, calm down.
Dude, it was so bad. And when you get back and you're like, well, my first show's at 8. If I go to bed now, I can get 6 hours of sleep.
Oh, my God.
I had a night in New York that was, I still don't know what happened. I was was doing comedy. I don't know what happened, and it scares me because I remember I was married. I was living with my first wife on 16th Street. I go out to do comedy. I'm drinking still then. I knock back a couple vodkas, and there was this couple at the bar. In my memory, they look like Boris and Natasha. You know, the cartoon? Like there was something fucked up. There was something wrong. And the dude says, "You want some blow?" I go, "Yeah." So I do some blow. The next thing I remember, there's just bits and pieces of me ending up in an apartment. You know, there was more than one person involved. And like, you know, I don't, like, I wake up and like all of a sudden I'm getting out of a cab and Natasha is like, you know, saying, you know, she's putting me in a cab, and I get home to my wife and I'm like, I don't know what happened, and she goes, "Why is your shirt on backwards?" And I'm like, "Oh, fuck, what happened?"
Oh, boy.
You know, and then she plays a message for me. That I called and left a message, and she said, this is what I had to deal with. I didn't know where you were, and she played the message, and it was me saying, "I'll be home as soon as I get out of this dream."
Jesus Christ.
I have no idea what happened to that night,
shit.
and I'm not sure I want to.
Jesus.
I'm not sure I want. You know,
Just best leave it blocked out.
Yeah. I don't know. There was no scars. My ass didn't hurt. I didn't know. So I'm not sure what went down.
The shirt was off at some point. You know, that's something you know.
Boy, back in the day when you had a good time and you didn't remember it. Somebody had a good time.
That's the thing with blow too. It's like I do think it's a certain personality that gets addicted to anything, and I don't think that blow has that evil addictive quality that the commercials in the '80s made you think.
Really?
I'll argue that one with you. I will argue that with you.
But I think a lot of guys can
Blow
do
doesn't
it.
have an addictive quality.
No. But
That's gonna be
I want some now.
Dr. DeRosa. I want some now.
All right. Before everybody
Clean for
jumps
12
on me.
years, but now he's going to go score.
Mark, it's safe. Just do it, dude. It's fine.
Come on.
No,
Not addictive.
what I'm saying is like every commercial in the '80s made you think if you did it once, you were addicted, and that was it. And it's like it's clearly not like that. It's like there are guys that do it once every 6 months and they're fine. But I think the
Pussies.
I think
Feeling a
the
pussy.
Or liars.
Yeah,
I
that's for
think
sure.
the addictive quality of it every time with everybody is it's like you're saying it's like you do it and you can't get enough that night. It's not
Yes.
about the next day. It's that night.
No,
It's like,
I always left a line for the morning. Like
Oh,
I knew,
wow, there
like
you
I
go.
knew I wouldn't. I knew I wasn't going to get
That's
much
crazy.
sleep. And I used to.
That's impossible.
It is impossible.
No, but when I
That's
worked at a
impossible.
restaurant, I used to work at a breakfast shift at a restaurant when I was in college, and I knew that if I did blow the night before, that I was going to sleep like 2 hours, and if I didn't leave myself 2 good bumps to get up to to
How
get to
could
the grill.
anyone do
That's
that?
impossible.
Like the whole night of you do a line. The first line you fucking do, you're like. The whole night becomes dedicated to getting
your
more
throat's
coke.
getting tight.
That's what I'm
I heard
saying.
that.
More coke. Yeah,
I'm getting
I
a
know,
drip
like,
now. Yeah.
It was just like now I need more.
Yeah.
More, and you never feel like you did when you the first of the night either.
Yeah, I
Just
try.
trying to-
Somehow or another, I managed to. Like, I was never. Not until later when that was this fucked up thing about. When I was married, the first wife, she knew I had a drug problem. And I was trying to get off stuff, and what would happen was I couldn't do it around her ever. So when I'd go to L.A. or something, it was like forget it, man.
Make up for lost time.
Yeah, oh yeah, man. You'd end up in hotel rooms with pirates and gypsies.
All
where the fuck
grinding
did
your
this come?
teeth.
Yeah, hide my wallet. Yeah, how long are we going to be at this for a while? Like one time I think I was on Wellbutrin to quit smoking, and I got all gacked up on coke, and my arm started to curl up like I had palsy, and I'm like, whoa, man, I better stop. This doesn't look good. I couldn't undo my hand.
Jesus Christ.
So that's when it gets a little scary when you're doing it with that much passion. You end up in places where it's just crazy. Like you end up in I remember going to score some coke with this guy. I knew a guy that I never was the guy that would go out into the darkness to find
Right, you needed the guy.
You needed the intermediary between like the good place and fucking hell.
Yeah.
Here's
Between the safe house
$500.
and
Yeah.
right.
I once paid a guy $500 to not fuck me on coke deals because I said, look, I don't come to LA that often. Here's $500. Just keep that so you don't burn me.
Yeah.
And he fucking burned me, dude. Oh God, here I go.
What a bastard.
I go to I'm gacked up, right? I got some coke. Well, what happened was it ended up being speed. I was in LA with this guy Bob, and he hooked up. He said, I don't think it's coke, but it's working. I'm like, all right. So I think it was crank. So anyways, I end up going to Minneapolis. to do a weekend at the club.
I was
And
going to ask, did you have to, or did you just end up going there?
I love those stories.
Yeah.
It was a pretty.
Fuck did I get here?
It was a good club, but I ran out of the shit, so I didn't know where to get it. Right, so I called that guy. Said, "Will you FedEx me an 8-ball?" All right.
Jesus Christ.
So he goes,
Could you
"Yeah."
please commit even more of a federal offense?
Right, so I FedExed him like however much, $250, $300, and he says, "I'm on it." And then he calls me up. He says, "All right, it's coming. Here's the confirmation number." I put it in a videotape and I stuck it in like one of the holes of the videotape, and it's in a package. And he gives me a confirmation number, right? So of course, like I'm up the next morning at the club where I'm having it delivered, the FedEx, waiting for the FedEx truck. So the guy, like this goes on for 2 days. I go to the club the first day, and I'm like, "Was there a FedEx for me?" And they're at the club. They're like, "No, I didn't get anything." I'm like, "What the fuck?" And the next day, I'm back at the club, and literally the FedEx truck, it comes up, and I'm like, "Is there a FedEx for me?" And the guy's like, "Sir, get off the truck."
Yeah. Like,
And,
Jesus.
and he fucking
the
burned
ice cream
me.
man, you motherfucker. Get away from me.
But that's what Coke will do to you. Is like I sent him money. He created this whole story about a videotape, a confirmation number.
Yeah.
But so he did fuck me.
I can't imagine you on coke.
Huh?
Jesus, I know.
That would be crazy. Wow.
Fucking
Yeah.
climbing up lampposts and shit.
It just made me feel clear.
Well, I love it.
It's a certain clarity to it.
I love that you got the middleman thing, because it's like I've always been like I've bought drugs,
Yeah.
but when I meet somebody and they sell drugs, I'll trash them, behind their back, of course.
Of course.
And I'll go, "This fucking idiot, he's a drug dealer. Fuck that guy, he's a moron." And people will go, "Yeah, but you do drugs sometimes. Like, why would you? And I go, "Yeah, but I also eat at McDonald's. If you worked at McDonald's, I think you were a fucking loser too." Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like that Goodwill Hunting, like, what's the matter with laying brick? Nothing. But you could do more than that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Most guys dealing are capable of doing more than
Yeah,
that.
now give me my 8-ball.
Yeah. My fucking drugs.
You're a genius. You should really be doing something else. Do you got this shit?
Yeah, here come more hate tweets from the angry drug dealers now.
Yeah.
Hate tweets from
man.
drug dealers. Don't take it too personally.
Well, the Alice in Chains was a little too far, Joe.
Oh,
A little
boy.
too far on that
Hey, that's
one.
what I do. I walk the line,
Yeah, but why'd you mention David Lee Roth in the same sentence?
All I was saying was Lane Stanley cannot do what Freddie Mercury did as far as versatility. Freddie Mercury would sing a fucking ragtime song and then sing Bohemian Rhapsody and then sing Sheer Heart Attack. It's like,
Yeah, but we all just wanted to hear Bohemian Rhapsody.
oh, come on. Stone Cold Crazy?
Actually, I
come
did.
on.
He had a great voice. I just didn't listen to him much.
Yeah, I liked Queen, I guess.
Yeah.
More or less. I didn't get too deep with those guys.
Well,
I'm all worked up.
Yeah, we
I
can
know.
break
You
and
get all
reset.
Huh?
like you start thinking about it and remembering.
Yeah,
It's like horrible.
it is sort of horrible
Oh.
because.
Do you miss it?
Huh?
You miss it?
No, I don't miss coke at all. I don't miss booze
Do you-
at all. I miss pot more than anything else.
Do you wake up-
Pot was easy.
Do you wake up as an older gentleman,
Yeah.
and go, "Holy shit, I can't believe I'm alive"? Because you start thinking about some of the shit that you.
Yeah, and I think that's better than saying "fuck, I'm alive." I can't believe I'm alive. Is really it's progress.
You don't even think twice about the chances you take as a
Well, that's the
a
thing
younger
about drugs.
guy, you
The
know?
thing about drugs is that as soon as you enter that world, you've exponentially amplified the possibility of you getting killed for some reason. Not just drugs.
Yes,
You're on the wrong end of a deal. You catch
You're
a stray
just-
bullet. You're in a bad neighborhood. You're behind the wheel of a car.
Drunk
you
driving, all that
you
shit.
just amplify.
But that's what
it.
I'm saying, and now you almost value your life
No,
more.
I
so
definitely,
you wake
yeah.
up every once in a while like, "Holy fuck, I was really taking some crazy fucking
yeah.
chances."
Oh yeah.
But not even thinking twice about it back then.
No, yeah. Just I remember in when I lived in Boston, and they at Catch Rising Star, they used to let the comics drink for free. So everybody would be barreling back from every one nighter all over the New England area to just get fucked up by so you got there before 2.
Right.
And the type of shit that used to go. I mean, I wrecked a car once in the middle of the night, drunk as shit, and I lucked out. I lucked out. I was driving this woman home back to my house, and I was fighting with her. It was like 3 a.m. I was drunk. I was coked up. We were fighting about nothing. And I did that thing where I'm like, "Fuck you, I'm bringing you home." I swung a U-turn. I didn't navigate it properly, and I just slammed into a parked car, knocked it up onto the sidewalk. We're literally 2 blocks from my house, and I'm saying, "I got to get the fuck out of here." So I put it in reverse, and clearly the car's like, there's smoke coming out of it. And I'm like, "We got to get the fuck out of here. I'm wasted." And then I'd see people coming out in bathrobes robes. It was like the end of a musical. It was just like all of a sudden, like the stage is just people in bathrooms going, "What's happening?" And I'm like, "Fuck!" And then I'm trying to pull around the corner, and then I'm surrounded by cop cars.
Oh.
And like this woman's sober, and I'm on the car's fucking wrecked, and I'm doing the sobriety test, and they're like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "I was gonna go park it at home and call you guys." I'm like, "Well, the accident happened over there," and I'm like, "I know, but I just needed to get home to call you guys," and I'm shit faced. And then this miracle happened. There was like 3 cop cars. The cops are surrounding me. A cop out of nowhere pulls up and goes, "Someone's robbing the bakery," and like a bunch of 10-year-olds, all these cops are like, "Oh, can we go?" So the guy looks at me and he says, "I'm going to give you a ticket for leaving the scene of property damage. You deal with it." And they all took off, and I was like, "Oh."
Holy
Can you
Wow,
drive
did you
it
get
home?
lucky?
He said. Can you drive it home? I'm like,
Yeah,
I
I
was
think I
trying
can
to
make
drive
it.
it home. I'll push it home.
Yeah. Wow. That is a luck out. Yeah.
Oh, the car was totaled.
Those were the days.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore.
Never, dude.
Big risks.
I think people have gotten better with
At drinking and driving?
At drinking and driving. I think people are very afraid of it these days because I remember driving home drunk. Yeah. No, driving home, or you wake up early on Saturday or Sunday morning and you drive down the expressway, and there would be cars just pulled over on the side of the expressway.
Yeah.
And they were all the people that got arrested the night before. They were like, what happened? People abandoning their cars.
Or some of those guys, they never even arrested you. They just said, "You're leaving this fucking car. I'm driving you home, or you got to find someone else to drive you home."
That's a good cop.
They didn't always arrest everybody.
Yeah.
But
serious.
there were a
If
lot
it's a
more of
neighborhood
those
thing.
cars on the side of the road in the older days.
I'm way more worried about the texting people. I finally.
You know what?
That's more dangerous.
That
More
is
dangerous.
Dude, I
so
finally
much more
turned.
dangerous.
I finally
It
turned
is.
the corner. I'm like, what the fuck?
I mean, look, there's a point of where you're so drunk that you are just going to fucking kill somebody.
Right.
But most people, if they're over the legal limit but not completely fucked up, it's safer than if you're texting.
Well, yeah, because when
Well,
you're at
yeah,
least when
yeah,
you're
yeah,
drunk driving,
You're trying to see the
someone-
road.
Well, someone's
You're
driving.
You're trying to at least see the road.
Yeah,
Someone's driving the car.
Someone's looking. No matter how blurry it is.
Yeah, when you're
or-
texting, no one's fucking driving
No
the car.
one's driving.
You
Your
look up,
car's
you're like,
just
holy
alone.
fuck! How long is my car driving itself? It's amazing.
An
You try to
unguided
squeeze
missile.
out that one word that's a little long.
Yeah, what are you risking your life for? Your life and the
fuck
life of
that,
others to say like, "Fuck you, soy milk is so." Holy shit!
right. Just swerving all over the.
Yeah,
fucking
I
place.
hold it up and just block. I hold it up like this, and I'm blocking one of my eyes with
Yeah.
the text.
China.
And I'm like, well, I got one eye on the road. I'm good as long as I'm not
Fuck
looking
you.
down.
I do it.
have heard
Yeah.
Lane Staley before.
Yeah.
And that'll be you driving.
Yeah. Responding to tweets. I'm bad at it. I can't get my head out of my fucking phone. I can't. I mean, I just do it.
It's,
I'm trying to
it's,
get
it's
better.
a constant.
Yeah, I haven't checked
I
my
think
email.
we're all losing the battle, though.
It really is
Where the
odd.
fuck was I? Where the fuck was I? I saw old people. I was at a playground with my kid over the weekend, and the grandparents were there, all on their fucking phones. I thought it was just a young.
They got them too
Younger
now.
It's the oddest thing. It's
But
like,
even the older people are fucking stuck in their phones.
you think of the old days, and it's like, what the fuck did you do? Talk?
We're all losing
What
the
the
battle.
fuck did you do with
You
me?
let your brain quiet down for a minute.
Did you?
No, but it was
I'm
not
trying to remember, like, what the fuck I did.
with all that time.
Dude, you could.
You couldn't call
At this
anybody.
point, at this point, if you leave your house without your phone, there's no reason to leave your house. You're
Well,
like, why
listen-
the fuck am I leaving my
Yeah,
house?
what am
my
I doing?
phone?
can't relax. You can't fucking relax. It drives me crazy. It has ruined my brain. It's like, dude, I'll have
Right.
days where I'm like, I got my work done.
Yeah.
I went to the gym. I did what I had to do today. I'm tired. I'm
Yeah.
going to take a fucking 2-hour nap. I've earned this.
Nope.
And I can't fucking lay there because I'm so goddamn scared that somebody needs to get in touch with me. The fucking email's going off, the text, the phone. It's ridiculous, man. It's our brains are not designed for this much stimulation.
And less than 10 years ago, you're like, I'm going to go home and check my messages.
Yeah, my
Remember
messages.
how great that was?
Yeah. Boop. And then
You
you'd be
have
pissed off.
3 messages.
And you'd be like, oh, fuck,
You're like,
3?
Oh, okay.
Ew.
Pick up, and they all started, pick up, Anthony, pick up. I guess you're not home.
Oh fuck!
And you'd be sitting over your answer machine going,
Come
oh, I hope that
on.
fucking broad call. Please let that chick call back. You get so excited. Now if she doesn't get right back to you, you're like,
That's gone,
fucking
yeah.
cunt.
Fuck
Tweet me,
her.
Facebook me, text me,
Yeah,
email me, or
right,
call me,
right.
you
Plenty of
fucking
ways to get in
cunt.
touch with me.
Right, and then you get the text from her, I was in the shower. What's your problem?
Yeah.
It's been 3 minutes.
5 minutes, you fucking asshole, right?
3
What's my
minutes.
problem? I thought you got decapitated somewhere. Jesus Christ.
Who are you fucking in the shower?
and there's no way to really blow anybody off on the phones. Because
you can't
there's
hide.
so many
No
ways to
hiding.
get in touch. And then you think sometimes if someone's trying to get in touch with you and you go, all right, I'm not going to call them.
Yeah.
But that means now I can't tweet.
Yeah.
I can't fucking,
Exactly.
because now they all know
They
where
know
you are.
where you are.
I can't Facebook anything. I can't do that because then they know I got my phone right in my fucking hand.
Yeah, you got to stay
I'll
in
tell
your
you,
house.
You
God-
got to
God
hide.
forbid you want to have an affair or something. You got to have a body double, and you're gonna have to change cars in parking lots like they do when they're trying to protect a mob guy.
Go inside an underground parking, come out another car.
Yeah, like a casino.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I told you if they put your name in that book, it's over. You're in there with Al Capone, for Christ's
Who the
sake.
fuck is getting away with cheating?
Nobody.
Who the fuck is getting away with
Who
cheating?
the
You're
fuck
absolutely
is
right.
getting away with that
It just is. There's no way you can give somebody that much information on how to get in touch with you without your significant other knowing exactly who's getting in touch with you.
I know a guy who will remain nameless for obvious reasons.
Yes.
We're in a cab the other night, and he goes, yeah, I fuck around with my girl all the time. And I go, really? And I go, what do you do with your phone? What do you do? And he goes, oh, dude, I got another SIM card that I keep in my wallet.
shit.
He goes, I get home, boop, pop that one in. It's all different contacts.
Right now, there's a
Holy shit.
And he's like, that goes out to all the fucking side girls. And I'm like, you're a fucking genius.
He's got this good boss SIM card and his
bad.
naughty boss
Yeah,
SIM
yeah,
card.
unfortunately, there's a cabbie tweeting right now.
yeah.
And you're copying at Joe DeRosa. So and so were in my cab last night.
Yeah, you're assuming
Wow.
any cab driver would know who the fuck I am.
Ah.
So it's,
boy.
the
But that-
anonymity protects me, so
Not
I can have
famous. That
conversations like
sucks.
that. It does.
They-
It really stinks.
But that's like a real big thing to do. Get another SIM card, go through all that. Like most guys aren't, first of all, that smart, or you don't want to go through that trouble.
Well,
just to fuck
another
around.
phone bill?
Another phone bill. My God. But but you can't get in touch with anyone without everyone knowing who you're getting in
And
touch with.
every social network now keeps you logged in. Gmail keeps you logged in.
Yeah.
That's email. But I mean, Facebook, all that
Yep.
other bullshit keeps you logged in. So your girl can check all that shit, right?
Yeah.
Your phone, you're fucked. All that stuff. It's
Your
fucking
phone, you're
crazy.
fucked.
Dude, Facebook the other day, I got a notification that goes, "Do you want to give us your phone number? Only your friends will be able to see it on here." It's
I
like,
hate
are
that
you
shit.
fucking
Yeah.
crazy?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'm doing that.
I don't understand enough about computers to know when I'm being fucked with. It's like I try to keep it as simple as possible.
Right.
How do I sign out? When am I done? Like, I have no idea if my computer is thinking right now. I don't know. Like, when people talk about spyware, other people using your computer as a hard drive, I don't know if that's happening.
It could be happening
Like,
right now.
Even
yeah.
if you unplug it, I think the thing's still fucking me.
Your computer.
That's
I
a
turned
great.
it up. It's still fucking me somehow.
That is a great point because that's what got Anthony Weiner. He didn't understand the basics of fucking Facebook
Yep.
and Twitter.
He understands how to take a picture.
Yeah.
Your computer.
Well,
Your computer now is like it's like a dirty accountant. That's like, 10 years down the road, it's like, well, you gave us power of attorney.
Hey,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? And where did all my fucking, where
Your
did all
computer is the nosy friend.
I did
It's just
exactly what you
taking-
asked of me.
Yeah.
Oh, you were smiling when you got those checks.
Yeah.
It's Don Cheadle.
Donnie!
Oh,
Don
shit.
Cheadle.
Look at that.
Donnie!
He's a good actor. I
Don
like
He was
Cheadle.
on the plane with me yesterday.
Was he?
Yeah, in
There
first.
he is,
I
right
was in
there.
coach.
Oh, come on.
Donnie Cheeto!
You don't.
Can they hear us out there?
I'm hoping. Turn up.
He's not going. He's not
Why
going.
would he come on our show? It's perfect.
Yeah, why not?
Cheeto!
Because it's not perfect.
What's up? Hey!
It's not
Oh.
his,
He's a good actor, that guy.
Nothing.
Good
He
actor.
is.
You talked to him?
He's like, I'm going in here, man. Yeah, he's booked up.
I
How you
was
doing,
on the
Don
plane.
Cheadle?
I was on
Just
the
want to
plane
say,
with you
big
yesterday.
fan.
How you doing, man?
Don, we just want to say hi. That's all. I know you're busy.
Big fan, man.
We can't take you away from another show. That's not fair around here, but.
Yeah, look, get him in, get him in.
See, look.
Take
all right,
it easy, man.
Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle, ladies and
We
gentlemen.
could officially
was it.
said we could officially say we had Don Cheadle on
Add
the
him
show.
to the list of celebrities that have done the Opie and Anthony show.
That was fucking awesome.
Didn't even get on,
Cheadle,
they
man.
didn't even get on the mic.
No.
You get
People are listening to them to take our word for it.
I know.
That Don Cheadle was just didn't even get on the
Holy
mic.
shit, Morgan Freeman! Bring him
Hey,
in!
bring him
Morgan!
in.
Hey,
I'm a
hey,
fucking
Morgan.
asshole. I looked like a
What an
fucking.
idiot.
I was.
Needy. Fucking needy.
Ah, jeez.
All right, listen.
We could have anybody on the show, right?
That's
It
what I'm
really doesn't
saying,
matter.
man.
Dead people doesn't
Way
matter.
off mic somewhere. Yeah, I love you.
All right, listen, Marc Maron and
Yes, sir.
Joe DeRosa. So we got the What the Fuck podcast,
TFpod.com.
Exactly, okay. And you guys are doing shows up in Canada for the Montreal Comedy Festival.
Yes, sir. You're going up there too?
Yeah, I'll be up there tomorrow through Sunday.
Tomorrow you're going?
Saturday. Yeah, when do you go?
I'm going Wednesday. I got to do the keynote address. I'm shitting my pants about it.
What's the keynote address?
I know they asked me to do this new thing they do. It's like, Andy Kindler does a State of the Industry thing, and then the last few years they've been doing this keynote thing, and they asked me to do it months ago. And here's how crazy. Here's my insecurity. My first thought was like, they couldn't find anybody else. I mean, it's months away. Yeah, I mean, why me? But,
why would you say yes to that?
Well, I mean,
that's nerve-wracking.
It's very nerve-wracking. But
why would you put yourself in that situation?
It's Thursday at like 1 in the afternoon.
I'm gonna
so
come.
no one's
I can't
going,
wait.
so it's good. It's,
now Joe's
DeRosa's going to be there.
I'll be there. No, everybody will be there. It's 1 in the afternoon. That's when. That's when everybody can come.
Why are you putting more pressure on him?
I don't want him to fail.
Can I just get? Hold on, I got a draft right here, fellas. Can we just go through it?
Yeah, let me just run this by you. Could you guys help me punch this up a little
Please
bit?
punch it up.
We're going to talk more about Marc Maron's podcast after the break. I want to know about Gallagher and his girlfriend. I hear the girlfriend thing is
working out,
doing okay now, but you had some rough patches that I want to get into.
I've surrendered.
And DeRosa, what do you want to talk about after the break?
Give
us something.
Talk about some. I'd like to talk about some relationship things, if we could.
Yeah?
Well,
I'm in for that.
Because I like talking about that shit with Mark, man. It's fun having stories. this man is a mine of stories. So I'd like to talk about that.
Way to do it.
You got a lady in your life, Joe?
No, and I'm trying to figure it all out right now. So I've been having a lot of encounters.
Figure out whether or not you have a lady.
Put it that way.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to figure out if I actually want that. I'm at that crossroads where it's like, it's the same thing with going to the gym. It's like, I just started going because I was at that crossroads of like, dude, you do it now or you'll never do it.
Right.
And now I feel like, okay, buddy, you settle down now, or you're never going to know how to do this. You can't try to do this at 40.
Don't get ahead of yourself, though. Sometimes you think you should be doing something because you're a certain age, and you make some of the biggest mistakes of your life.
That's what I don't understand. That's what I'm trying to figure out. That's what I'd like to talk about.
I think me and Anthony can help you.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to figure it all out next.
Oh, I'm for it.
The Opie and Anthony Show. The Opie and Anthony Show, damn it. On the Virus, Sirius XM. Sirius XM, the Virus. Yeah, this is the Opie and Anthony Show.
For Joe DeRosa. All right, listen, we got Marc Maron in studio and Joe DeRosa both killing, man. Look what time it is, Ant.
I can't
This
believe
show
it.
flew fucking by.
That's how we gauge a show, by what time it is.
Oh yeah, it flies by.
So whatever you want to say, make sure you say it before 9:58 because we're fucking out of here.
That's where we're at now.
Yes, exactly. With that said, I want to get back to Marc Maron's podcast, WTFpod.com.
That's it.
All right, and getting a lot of attention.
We got to do one with you guys. Maybe next time I come in, we can record one in here if you want.
That'd be cool.
Can we do it in here though?
Yeah.
Because that'd be easier than me schlepping my here's my mics, fellas. Can you just take? Can you just hold my mics?
Can you just take this audio and make it into a podcast?
I can't. Well, that's the thing. People are saying you can have O&A on the podcast. I'm like, is there anything they haven't fucking talked about?
Yeah.
I mean, am I going to get anything?
Take the last hour.
Am I going to make Anthony cry?
And I have been a gay American.
All right, we'll do it.
Just want to come out on your show.
Good.
And
Good. All right,
I'll
then
announce
we'll
that
do
I'm
it.
actually a happy person. Yeah, we can tell you some
All
things.
right, all right.
Which would the audience find more shocking?
Right? I'm happy when I'm not here. I'll tell you that
We'll
much.
do it. We'll figure it out.
You can get into what my shit's all about. Gallagher.
Yeah.
Oh.
That thing was people.
What happened for the people out there that don't
Gallagher.
know?
Well, I did a podcast with Gallagher. You can get it if you get the app. You can hear that one. But I was in Portland, Oregon. I get an email from my manager, who got an email from his manager, who lives in Portland. Said he was in Portland. Would I have him on the show? Now I got to be honest with you. I didn't like that guy when I was old enough to like him, which is 10.
Yeah.
I didn't have. There was not a lot of love there. But that doesn't mean that as a relatively objective. Fan and part of the comic community, I couldn't put him into perspective in the sense that, he started with all the guys and, he was at the Comedy Store in the late 70s. And I thought there was an interesting story there. So I say, okay. So he comes to the hotel. I meet him downstairs. He's like, what are we doing? And I'm like, well, we're going to do a podcast. They're like, is it live? And I'm like, no, I'm going to record it in my room. And then he tries to teach me how to steal coffee out of a conference room. Whatever. So we go up to the room.
That's him.
Yeah, and I read up on him. Like, I'd read up that he's not smashing shit as much, and that he's doing a lot of gay jokes and a lot of jokes about ethnic people. So I tried to have a conversation. Like, I started talking to him about, about his place in comedy. And right away, he's like, why does Jay Leno have a show? Why don't I have a show? I should have my own show. Like, he screeches like this old queen.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
this old queen. And like right away, I'm like, I'm a like, all right, I can handle this. I'm trying to wrangle him, but he's talking down to me. Almost immediately, he starts saying, like, comedians shouldn't drink water on stage. That's not a real comedian. A comedian doesn't need a notebook. And I'm like, so now he's shitting on everybody.
Drink water?
Whatever.
What?
It was crazy.
The fuck does that mean?
Hydrate yourself.
But I'm willing to sort of let the guy talk because I want, So then I bring up these accusations, that, he's being raped. And look, I got a little bit of flack, but I don't give a fuck what anyone says. I mean, you know me. I mean, my friends are Jim and everybody else. Look, if you can own what you say, say it. What do I care?
Right.
But I'm going to ask. I can ask.
Of course.
I'm not, I'm not politically correct in any way when it comes to language. So I bring this up, and then, right away he goes, they're not even my jokes. They're street jokes. And he starts screeching. And I'm not even pressing that hard. I'm just trying to. I'm trying to
get in his head a little bit.
Well, I'm trying to converse with him because he never shuts up.
Right.
And he acts like he's teaching you a lesson. And then he starts going on about like he says you're never going to play a state fair. And I'm like, who the fuck would want to play a state fair?
Jesus Christ! What year is this?
And he's like, everybody, So
me in America.
Yeah.
But then he gets
fun.
like
got a gig in Sleepy Eye tonight.
Yeah.
Right.
I go on right after a horse with no name. All right. See you, Gallagher.
And then I say, what are you angry about? I say, what are you angry about? And he goes, I'm not angry. And I'm like, you're the guy that smashes shit. I'm just trying to engage. And then about a half hour, and he goes, I'm not doing this. And he storms out of the room like a giant baby. And I just said, really, I'm not going after you. And then there was a moment where I didn't have to put this up either, but because it didn't make me look great either. But there was a moment there where I said, oh, come on, Gallagher. To nobody. You hear a door closing. But
it's great if someone goes to leave. You can't just go like, get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah, right. After the door slammed. But look, I put it up because I thought I don't think I look great. I could have done a little more homework. I tried to be as respectful as possible, but I was genuinely surprised that he stormed out. I mean, I could not understand it. But people who listen to it have one opinion or the other. A lot of people thought I was being some sort of politically correct police, which I wasn't.
What?
I don't give a shit. I really don't care what people say. And the truth of the matter is that when you say something, if shit comes back at you, that's part of saying something.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to take your hits, and but you certainly have the freedom to say it.
He did our show a few times. We loved having him on. He's very different. He's a very strange.
Well,
bird,
because
man.
he's such a fucking
Really
weirdo.
strange.
And
he's curing cancer. He's building things.
Yeah,
All his
yeah,
inventions are just. He has a million of them.
I heard he lectures. I was at a couple theaters where he had performed, and I was like, they were like, we just had Gallagher here, and they were like, yeah, he lectured the audience about metaphysics, and then when they didn't know what the fuck he was talking about, he started calling them all stupid, and then he took out the hammer at the end.
And then he gets his hammer out.
He did our show when we were back at K-Rock. He did it here as well. And after the show, he sits in the hall for hours and just day trades. Doesn't go home.
Right, and he also has
even though his appearance was long,
he likes to
hours
school
ago.
people.
Yeah.
He thinks he knows things. Like there's some weird thing apart about him. Like I thought that if you listen to the episode, you get you know who that guy is. And I guess my pride got into it because I just couldn't believe that he was talking down to me on some level.
We had. Okay,
I knew he made a lot of money, and I knew that he was this guy. But the weird thing about him is that the bane of his existence was that this hammer thing was just this one bit he did. I think that it really sticks in his craw that it just caught on, and it was really just one sketch, and then it became who he is. But his whole argument that I deserve this, I deserve that, because his whole premise is Jay Leno and David Letterman, they didn't go out on the road and sell tickets. I did, and my point was, well, that's what you chose.
Right.
Yeah.
and that's that.
You did your research because, yeah, he's known for smashing watermelon. Simple as that. And he might be a deeper guy, but none of us really know that. So
I wanted
it would
to
have
get
been
to that.
It would have done him done him right if he would have openly talked to you about all that.
I'd have him back.
Yeah, why not?
Because that's what people really think. He smashes shit. That's all we know.
Well, I mean, that's
and
why I
and
think-
that's all we care about.
And I think that's why he overcompensates with metaphysics and schooling people. And is that like he wants to be known as some sort of nuclear physicist?
That's the word. It's he wants them to know he's smart, and that's the most dangerous thing a comedian could ever
Look,
have.
I'm smart.
Yeah, I'm smart too.
I don't. I'm smart. I was passed over by.
I'm not dumb like everybody thinks.
Now let me
Jay
get
Leno.
let me get the hammer.
We should get Roland in here because Roland says that Gallagher will never do our show again.
Well, Patrice called him out, right?
We had a great segment with Patrice going after Gallagher. It was terrific.
Saying that because Gallagher just be good. You're fucking racist.
He is actually
You're fucking racist.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm not. Yeah, you can't say that about it. I fucking heard some shit.
Yeah, Patrice wouldn't back down.
It was great.
Kept at him.
Really, Patrice wouldn't back down. That's unusual.
Where are we at with Gallagher, Roland?
The last time was a while ago. I called him. He was at Walmart, and he said, "Stop calling me. You're killing me. You're killing me," and then hung up.
At Walmart?
Yeah, he was at Walmart.
What
Working?
Wow. What position? God damn it! I was trying to get to it. God damn it!
Oh, DeRosa loses by a nose. That was a close one.
Sorry.
You guys bumped heads on that one.
If I had
Finishes
eye
in,
contact, I would have let you have it.
As they said, "Don't call me again. You guys are trying to murder me."
That's sad.
Wow.
He feels persecuted.
Yeah, he certainly, unless he literally thinks we're trying to murder him and walking around looking for our hit squad.
That's too
Did you see
bad.
the video where he collapsed on stage?
Oh,
Yeah.
3 weeks after my podcast, I got a lot of tweets for that one.
Oh, did you?
Look what you did to
They
Gallagher.
blamed you, right?
I was opening for.
Not his poor food choices. They blame you.
I
Yeah.
opened for Patton Oswalt one time, and we were doing some theater. Gallagher was there like the night or 2 days before, and the stage manager picks us up, and we're driving out to the theater, and he's telling us, "Yeah, Gallagher was just here," and we're like, "Oh, that's cool, whatever." And the stage manager goes, "Yeah, funny story, man. In his rider, he has this thing that he needs a table, 4 feet by 2 feet." And he's like, "So I got him this table. It was this really nice Victorian table. It looked nice on stage." And he goes, but then he shows up, and I didn't know he meant he needed the table for the Sledge-O-Matic. He's like, so I'm scrambling. I had to build him a table. I didn't know what to do. I mean, the guy should have specified. Why wouldn't he tell me that that's what the table was for? And he's freaking out about the table. And Patton just goes, let me get this straight. You had a show where Gallagher asked for a table and you didn't know what it was for.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
And there was this awkward silence for the next 5 minutes. So just like, ooh, yeah.
Shit. Yeah, adult.
Look, I don't feel great about that interview, but I did what I could.
Well, did you feel like you were attacking him, though?
He always
It
feels
doesn't sound-
attacked.
I know, but it doesn't sound like-
Walmart,
he
and he
does.
thinks you're trying to kill him.
Yes.
He's got this persecution complex, and he was impossible to talk to. But I just wasn't going to be filibustered and steamrolled. I was just trying to get him into some groove where we could have a conversation, but he was so guarded and weird.
It didn't sound like you had an
converse with him.
agenda,
Yeah.
though.
You can't.
You didn't have an agenda.
I had a
It just
little bit of an agenda. I had an agenda in the sense that I wanted to place him into the context of the Comedy Store in the late 70s.
Okay, well.
And then I did have the agenda of asking about this shift in his act. Because it's one thing to move away from a Sledge-O-Matic and do another type of comedy. It's another thing to all of a sudden, I'm getting rid of the Sledge-O-Matic and now all Chinese people have to die. Yeah, I mean, so, and I'm not saying that that's his agenda, but I mean, it's a weird shift from the Sledge-O-Matic to, shitting on lesbians, Chinese people, gay people, and then saying I have a few black people at my show, so I don't do that. But I mean, to put a can of water chestnuts on a table and then go, this is for the Chinese people, and then smash them. I mean, it's a little hardcore, and I wanted him to answer to it a little bit. So yeah, I had an agenda in that way. Is that funny? Maybe I'm wrong. Is that funny? I want to hear putting a fruit salad on there. This is for the fruits. I mean, okay, it's still the Sledge-O-Matic, but I mean, it's a little bit.
Well, the
heavy
number
handed.
one fruit is the watermelon. So
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
Think about it.
that could
Is
go
there
wrong.
are there clip? I want to hear a clip of racist Gallagher. I've never heard it. Is that
Well,
something that's out there somewhere?
No, it's alleged.
I think we
It's
pushed,
alleged
I think we
that
pushed him in
he's-
that direction.
He's
a little
sort
bit.
of racist.
There's an article in The Stranger. If you Google The Stranger, which is a Seattle paper, and Gallagher, that was the article I read. And my biggest mistake was not actually, I didn't have the examples in front of me, so it was sort of general, and that kind of pissed me off. If I would have just said, what about this joke? But he still says like there's street jokes, and I understand that. But my issue is that if whatever's left of his audience, whatever's left of the people that still hold on to him as a great entertainer from when they were 11.
Yeah,
and now that they're still showing up, and he is slamming Asians, and it's a little odd. Where does that come from? That was my only question. It wasn't like you shouldn't say that. It's like, where does it come from?
They're bringing their plastic slickers because they got front row tickets. And they're all like, and then they're just listening to a diatribe of racist jokes. You're like, wait a minute, where's the fucking...
One goes,
No,
What the fuck is this for?
no Slicker's going to protect you against that.
He just takes out his cock and pisses on the first 3 rows.
That would be a good show.
Here's time for the plastic,
That would be fucking great.
I would love
you
that.
brought plastic to see the fucking Noel Gallagher show, right?
Yeah.
Didn't you? How about this, you motherfucker? And just start like Gigi Allen throwing his shit.
Oh, yeah.
This is for the Jews.
Fast forward a year, the whole audience is in white sheets now instead of the plastic.
Yeah.
There you go.
Cheering for Gallagher.
There you go.
He to
We've
me
tried to get him back on the show. He has no desire to do our show.
he to me is like the worst kind of comic because he's one of these guys that is clearly a fairly intelligent guy. He seems like a smart guy. He does his wordplay and all that bullshit. You're like, all right, he's a smart guy, but he's the smart guy for that sort of rednecky crowd. You know what I mean? Like he was never the smart guy for the New York or the LA or the San Francisco type audience.
That's why he plays state fairs.
Yeah, and it's like, and now he's angry because he wants everybody to declare him a genius. It's like, no, dude, you accepted that path, and like that's where you're at now. That's it.
The other thing is that he's irrelevant, and the other some of the input I got was like, why are you picking on Gallagher? And I can understand that. But I didn't seek him out. But the fact is, he's just this old guy that's trying to hold on to something, and it's difficult.
I don't think you're picking on him. He's an angry man. Mm-hmm. He is a very angry guy. And we didn't even have conversations with him when he was on this show. What it was us talking and him interrupting with something so outrageously weird that we found it hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, what? This guy's fucking out of his mind.
Like, what would he say, though? Like, what would he interrupt with?
We would be
Some of his
talking about,
inventions
if we're
and
talking about
stuff.
relationships.
X-ray machines.
Yeah. He'd be like, hey, you know what I'm working on?
Yeah.
And you're like, what? We were just talking about something. All right, Gallagher, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What would it be? And it would be some kind of like,
It's been a while, but it's been
some kind of space thing.
Yeah.
So
A cure for cancer.
Yeah, he loves cures
that.
for cancer and fucking machines that ionize water for
that's right.
Like just bizarre things.
But he couldn't build himself a new act.
No. You know where all that shit... He could put a fucking car door on a tricycle to come out with on stage.
He just sucks.
So he could roll the window down.
He just sucks. I'm working on a giant big wheel for me to
fucking
ride out
know.
in front of the audience.
Oh, well, look, he's got the giant couch and he's jumping on it. Wow.
He made a lot of money.
Asshole.
A lot of money. Tons
those
of specials.
Showtime specials.
My brother
every
liked them.
week they were on.
Yep.
Dude, he did like 10 of those
Yes.
fucking things.
More than that, I think. What did you say on
anyone
that? How many
anyone that would
specials did
have
he do?
gone
I
to
think it was
that
like
fucking
14.
anyone that goes to a state fair to see Gallagher should just be fucking shot.
Well, I'm theorizing. Obviously, I don't know the guy, but I'm telling you, speculating.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the thing. Yeah, but he's that guy. He's sitting there going, "Why am I not Carlin?" And it's like because Gallagher, when Carlin was talking about pro-life and versus abortion in the 90s, you were fucking bringing out a hula hoop with springs on it. Or whatever.
13 specials.
13.
Wow.
Carlin only beat him by 2.
Damn, man.
Wow.
That's nuts.
That is crazy. All right. I want to ask Mark about his relationship, too.
Oh, well, see, because Joe wants to get into that, too. Well, the last time I was here,
Yeah.
I met a woman who contacted me through email. Basically, the email was just, "Hey, Marc Maron," and I said, "Hey, what?" And, and we met up, and we spent the weekend together. It was great, and then we basically she ended up moving in, and I didn't realize that was happening. You know, she ended up moving to L.A. and we were hanging out, and then a lot of her stuff was showing up at my house, and all of a sudden, all of her stuff was at my house, and it was all over my house, and I freaked out. I was like, you got to get the fuck out, you know. And I didn't know what to do. It got really weird and dramatic, and you know, police were involved. It was very exciting.
Why were the police involved?
Because she didn't want to leave, you know, and then like 3 months went by where I didn't contact her at all and everything, and then like I couldn't fight the feelings, man. I mean, I just loved her. And after 3 months, after all this insanity, I realized, who the fuck am I to judge someone being crazy? You know, I mean, I've been in relationships before, but all of a sudden I'm the stable one. I'm saying, like, no, she's crazy. And I'm like, who is talking? 2 marriages in, no kids, anger problem. Yeah, I'm going to sit here and say, like, I know better. So eventually I buckled and I said, well, I'm going to honor the love, man. So needless to say, most of her shit is at my house again. And but I adore her, and I'm just going to have to write it out. And it's a little weird because she's 28 and she does that thing where it's like, well, I want kids. And now I'm in this weird position where I'm like, I have to deal with that conversation every once in a while. And it's hard because you sort of just try to kick the can down the road a little bit. And like, yeah, I mean, I've thought about it. It's never that. But, you know, I understand you want them. And like, what are we eating? You know, so where do you want to go eat? And then, like, you know, because I know she wants kids, and I know that conversation is really just about, are you going to stay with me? And that,
right.
And then I had this other weird moment where we're in the shower. I'm taking a shower with her. And I'm washing her back because I need to get under the head. It was not a big altruistic thing.
Right,
I just was like, I need to get under the water. Yeah. So I'm washing her back, and she turns to me. She goes, "Are you practicing for when I'm paralyzed?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Oh my god!
And then I say, "No, you'll be in a hospital." And then I didn't realize it was really the same question, because she wanted me to say, like, yeah, of course I'll take care of you if you're paralyzed. But I'm thinking, like, now I got you and the kid. I got to take care of you.
The paralyzed woman, the kid.
But the thing is that I just at some point said, well, fuck it, you know, I'm 47, I have a lot of feelings for this chick, and you know, we're both crazy. I got to pick my fights and not be such a lunatic. You know, it's weird when you're in a relationship, you have that moment, and I know I'm a little old to have this moment where you're like, oh my god, she's her own person that I can't control. And you know, you really just have to really remind yourself of that like, you know, it's not some heinous crime if she doesn't like the same music you like. There's a moment where we're at the Soundgarden concert, right, and she gets bored, right, because it's not her trip, and she starts looking at her phone, and part of me is like, yo, fuck this. Fuck this. How can you not like this?
Right.
And, you know, and at a different point in my life, that would have ruined the evening.
That would have been what you would have said.
You'd be sitting there playing CDs like, no, listen to him.
Listen to the words. Listen to the words, man. Listen to what he's saying.
As long as she stands there, to me, she can have her nose in her phone. As long as she stands there and puts up with it and doesn't do the shitty walk away, walk back, but distracting you thing.
It is, like,
you know what I mean? Then it's fine.
Like, I don't, like, there was a period there where I didn't know if she was getting, like, I don't smoke dope, and I don't, you know, I know she likes to get high and stuff, and that used to drive me crazy. But now, like, look, if I have feelings for her, and I like having sex with her, and I like having her around, eventually, if you're a grown person or somebody who at least acknowledges where you are in your life, you're like, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Just try not to fuck any other guys, and don't leave me crying.
Right.
That's all you ask for.
Well, you know, you want to aim high.
Yeah, that bar really isn't that high. That's good.
It's just like, I just want to make a living.
So you're 4 months in to stage 2.
I've known her a year, and I think we're about 4 or 5 months into stage 2. I don't really, you know, I'm just paralyzed with fear. You know, after the last thing, you get left, you get divorced, and it was brutal, you know. And
would you get married again for the 3rd time? Is she listening? Is she listening right now? You want to write down your answer?
No, I don't know if she's listening. I think she's getting her nails done in Brooklyn. But you know, look, every time I say something on stage, I know, like, I did this whole thing on Conan about, like, her, you know, texting me a picture of her pussy, and like I forget that this is a person. You know, and then after we broke up, she's got to go into the world, and people she knows come up to her and go, "Did you really take?" You know, she's got to go to her job.
Yeah.
You know, and. So I've just become a little more respectful, and I don't know if I'm going to get married. I did buy her a dresser. That's where I'm at now, because the clothes thing just got out of hand. I'm like, we got to put these things into something. They can't just be all over the house.
That's a step forward. That's, you know.
Yeah, I'm starting with
that's a big step.
And also there's that moment, like, here's the other moment of intimacy that I acknowledge, is that at some night, you know, you cross the line going, I don't know what the hell we both ate, but we had gas bad and there was no hiding it. But you know that first time where you're with a chick and then all of a sudden you're both fucking
No,
farting.
I've never gotten that far.
And all you can do is hold them like you hold a dying person. You know, like it's going to be okay. We're gonna
get through this.
We're going to get through this.
Literally never got
Got
that
any
far.
lactated?
No.
But I know that's just a stone's throw away from shitting in front of each other when you have to. If someone's in the shower, you can't wait or whatever. And then the next thing is like you got a baby. Let's bring someone else's poop into this.
Boy.
Let's bring someone else's poop into this situation.
I would love to know what it's like to
But
be
what's
at
your
that
problem?
You don't even get to
Stage.
those stages.
No,
huh, Joe?
never got that far. The most I've ever been with somebody 8 months, and we didn't get to the shitting
Wow.
and farting point.
No?
No.
Wait, that's a lot of holding your farts in, buddy.
Well, one time I was banging her up the ass, and shit came out, but that's a different story.
That is different.
Oh, you give her a pass on that one?
But God forbid,
eventually,
God forbid
it took
farting
me-
in front of her, right, Joe?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I just never got to
Anything
that.
during sex.
I don't know.
But,
I think it's my. There's just so much shit here that you know. And
Where is it, Joe? Where is it?
I'm at a point.
Let's get into that shit, Joe.
I'm at a
Hey,
point.
we're doing a podcast, I noticed.
Yeah.
Mark
does
is
it usually
taking
end?
into his podcast.
Sorry,
right
sorry.
now.
I apologize, guys. I
No,
apologize.
go. I love
How
it.
does it usually
Let's go back
end,
to the
Joe?
ass fucking.
No, I
How
love
does it end?
Yeah,
Let's go back to the ass.
It's like no. I mean, like an 8-month relationship. Like, how do these relationships usually end? Is it?
Never good.
It's
This
never
is how.
good.
This is how fucked up
It's never
I am.
But you seem like a
amicable.
nice guy. How could it go horribly wrong?
Oh, there's a mean person inside
Is there?
there.
I haven't seen-
No.
I'm
This is
fucking-
how it ends. It ends with them crying and then me crying that I'm hurting them.
Ah.
I'm
Why
crying.
are they crying?
I'm an
Because they're upset
asshole.
that I'm
one-
dumping
yeah,
them.
Yeah.
And why are you dumping them?
Because I can't just get it. I think it's a self-esteem thing. I'm at a point with relationships where I feel like when she starts dating me, she's opening the box from Hellraiser, and I'm coming out of it, going, "Your suffering will be legendary." So it's a thing in here where I'm like,
What are you looking for that you're just not getting from these relationships, Joe?
Mommy.
Oh boy.
well, I'm adopted. I have abandonment issues.
Yeah,
A lot of that
that's
comes
it.
into it, man. A lot of that comes into it.
Yes.
I just want to have. I just want to have somebody to relax with and get through the. But I'm telling you, the panic. I have dated so many great girls this year. Beautiful, sweet, good people, great personalities. The second it starts to get anywhere near commitment, I literally panic. I
Really?
get depressed. I'm like, what am I doing? I can't do this.
Wow.
But I'm just now starting to realize, oh, that's fear of intimacy and commitment. I never understood that before. I always thought it was just, why am I getting tired of these girls so quickly?
Yeah.
Now it's like, no, dude, you fucked up. You got to get through this.
Oh,
and
man.
I don't know what to do. If
Wow,
I'm not,
you fucked.
if I don't make some serious money soon, it's going to be a real
yeah,
problem.
That'll solve it, right, Anthony?
Oh, yeah.
Money's really going to.
You don't have to worry about that as far as commitment issues go or anything. Put it this way. The girl I'm with now, my girlfriend, she wanted one of the walk-in closets in the bedrooms.
Uh-huh.
Now, she has a full closet in one of the other bedrooms,
Yeah.
but not in the master bedroom.
Right.
Because I have my walk-in closet, which is all my clothes.
Yeah.
And I have my other walk-in closet, which used to belong to the ex.
Yeah.
But when she left, it
Now-
is now my gun safe. It is a walk-in closet
A shrine
with
of
a
hate.
magnetic a shrine of hate and destruction.
Yeah.
It is a walk-in closet with magnetic locks and a separate alarm on it.
Yeah, I've been in it.
yeah.
I've never been so curiously aroused
It's
as I was when I was in your gun
fantastic.
closet.
But she keeps bringing up the fact that, it would be nice if I could have my clothes in here or something. I'm like, no. It's my gun closet. Well, and then she looks at my closet and goes, you don't really wear half of the stuff in here. So, and I'm like, no, that's my closet.
Yeah.
That's my gun closet.
Sounds like
I go,
someone-
you got a whole room with a whole closet. Yeah, but I got to walk out of the bedroom and go around. So that's your closet. These are my closets.
Sounds like someone has to buy a dresser. You got to buy a dresser.
See, it's buying the dresser
Yeah.
thing. But those are the little things that I need to keep doing to feel that I'm not married.
Right, but did you tell her the last time someone had clothes in that closet? Look what happened.
Yeah, that was bad. To tell you the truth. Well, kind of right about that. Best just leave those closets alone. One with the guns, one mine. You take the other room.
You know what really is depressing when you're not in a relationship, and this is really what's starting to get to me. I'll get like travel magazines in the mail and stuff. I'll be like, oh, that Greece looks lovely. This is a very affordable
That's
trip.
the worst.
I think I'm going to go there. I'm going to go to Greece this summer. Then
By
I'm like,
yourself.
with who? Yeah.
Traveling
pray.
Traveling by yourself is the
Eat,
worst.
pray, love it.
Eat, pray, love.
Eat, pray, love.
You know it, faggot.
Take it easy. Now we're going to get letters.
Oh, I know.
No, it's but
From people that like rom-coms.
You see these things, and you're like, I want to go do that. I'd love to go to, I don't know, fucking Cape Cod or some shit and just relax. You're like, with who? With my buddies? Why? So we can get shit-faced somewhere else? We can do that in my apartment for way cheaper.
You go by yourself, that's even worse. Like if you like, sometimes I'll travel on the road and you're like, I'm in a great town and I'm not leaving my room.
Yeah.
You just bring the shit with you.
Yeah, just in the room. And
I like traveling with her. That's the thing is like I don't know how to explain it, but I like having her around. I mean, she just I like just looking over at the couch and she's sitting there on a pile of her own clothes playing Angry Birds. And I'm like, I love this.
That's hilarious.
I just hear the noise of the Froggy game, like, and I'm like, that's love. That's the sound of love.
That's
Look
great, right?
It sounds nice, man.
It is nice.
Jill
actually.
wants that.
I do.
You can't get past that one point though where you're comfortable. Is it like where both of you are sitting around not doing anything?
No,
Have you ever
love
been
that.
with a girl that like you're not on a date all the time, or?
I love that. The 2 times, I get to that very quickly. In fact, and one of my friends told me, he goes, that's your problem, dude. He goes, you skip the whole courting period. You skip the whole romance.
Yeah, we don't do that.
Going out to dinner.
Yeah.
He goes, you go right to let's sleep at my place every night.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, well, that's my fucking life. I can't help
Right.
it. I don't know what else to do. But the 2 or 3 times that I've gotten into this sort of relationship territory, one time it was good and I just said, I can't do this. But the other times, these girls ravaged me, man. They ravaged my trust. They ravaged my emotions.
Really? In 7 months, everything got ugly, huh? Look at you. What was that?
Joe.
3 months in, you're a broken man.
Were you looking for sympathy from us?
Wow. This is a sad story.
Oh, wow.
Ravaged. He's ravaged.
You know, you open up a little bit here, and look at this shit.
Just dickheads.
Open up.
He's
You might as well have
ravaged.
just opened a toilet lid. We just shit all over you.
Jesus Christ.
Let's get Don Cheadle in here. He'll hug you.
He looks like a hugger.
Yeah, he looks like a hugger.
Now,
Joe.
before you were rudely, I
Thank you,
want to
man.
know what type of ravaging could be done with your trust. Obviously, fucking around on you, I guess.
Well,
the ultimate.
One of the girls I think was probably fucking around on me. But she brought me in and brought me out so many times, and every time just fucked with me and fucked with my emotions and told me she wanted something, and then she would dump me the next day, like that up and down thing. So there was one was that. One was we broke up because she was fucking crazy. And I dumped her, and she proceeded to do everything she could to ruin my life.
Yeah, so you should be back together with her.
All right, that sounds like
that's the one for you.
that sounds like a keeper.
Really vindictive shit. Really, really mean vindictive
Like what?
shit.
Like what?
She, I don't want to say too much, but she worked somewhere where I worked, and I all of a sudden didn't work there anymore. That was the beginning of it. I had a friend that worked in this place. She got my friend fired to teach me a lesson. It was literally like mob shit. Like, we're going to fucking send him a
whack
lesson.
him out, too.
Exactly. Shit like that. It was just crazy. And, you know, when something like that happens, whether it's after 3 years or a little fucking pussy 7 months.
Well, that's a weird issue.
Fucks
though.
your head up.
But this is a weird thing because I know 2 or 3 guys that went through this, borderline stalkerish kind of like. There's something going on. I know it's probably always gone on, but there's something when you lock in with somebody who becomes vindictive and then you can't. Like I got a buddy now. He had to get a restraining order. I mean, but that happens a lot more. Is that possible?
It didn't get to restraining order level, but it got to the point where I would call her up and I would literally be crying, going, please stop doing this.
Oh, wow.
I love you as a human being. It just wasn't going to work.
She must have loved
She hung
you
up and had an
fucking
orgasm.
calling.
Dude, it was horrible. It was
You
horrible.
played right into her hand.
That's phone sex for her.
Yeah,
no
she's
shit.
just coming. Oh, Joe's crying. Oh,
Joe's crying again. Yeah, just horrible. Well, at least I have good friends that I can talk about it on the radio with.
I'm sorry, Joe. I'm sorry for your pain.
That sucks, man. Do you cry a lot, Joe?
I'll get emotional over shit like movies will break me up pretty
Like what?
easily.
What was the last movie that broke you up?
What the,
I can cry when I'm
what was I
watching Chopped.
watching? I fucking
Seriously, I watched Chopped on the cooking channel when when the guy makes a good meal and he didn't think he was going to win and he wins. And
I thought it was just the onions. Felt like you were feeling the onions through the TV.
I cry very inappropriately, never appropriately.
What was the last movie you cried at, Joe?
I can't remember off the top of my head. I know there was one since then, but I remember the two recent ones where I watched Love Actually at Christmas time.
Oh, no.
And I cried like a little bitch in my apartment. And then I watched Grumpy Old Men with my parents at Christmas.
Oh my God! You're such a fucking
at the part where Walter Matthau, when Jack Lemmon has the heart attack and Walter Matthau goes to the hospital, they have the big argument.
Yeah.
And the nurse goes, "Are you a friend or family, sir?" And he like doesn't know what to say, and he goes, "Friend or family?" And he just goes, "Friend," like that. I literally faked like I had to go get water because I didn't want to cry in front of my parents. I walked in the other room and was fucking toweling off my eyes.
It's funny though because you're like me. Like I'll cry at movies, commercials, anything. And the only time you'll cry in a relationship is when you fucked up. Yeah, like where you're like you're never gonna cry appropriately because you're having a real emotion. It's just sort of like don't leave, don't leave. Like, I'm not an asshole.
What is that?
It's sickness.
It's a mental
It's
problem.
called being a comedian. Yes, you're welcome to the world.
It's ridiculous. I sit there, like, when I think about, like, acting, I go, God damn, if I could only cry on cue. Oh, I could up my acting. I know I could. If I could just cry on cue, that's the one thing I can't get
take
to.
yourself to those places.
But then I watch a commercial for that movie, The Help, and I'm fucking tearing halfway through it. I'm like, why the fuck can't I access this?
Put the movies in the back of your head when you're doing your acting.
I cried a little yesterday, actually. I just remembered that. Oh, man.
Yeah? Was it bad?
Well, no, we woke up. I woke up with the girl. We had to leave. You know, I had to get an 8 o'clock flight, right? And the night before, she had to do laundry, which means she had to wash everything she owns. All right, so it's like midnight. We got to get up the next morning and go to the airport. There are dresses hanging on the deck, hanging in the bathroom. And she was like, I'll deal with it tomorrow. I'm like, we got to get up early. How are you going to deal with this, right? So then the alarm goes off, and she's like, I'm going to sleep for another half hour. And I'm like, no, you're going to get the fuck up. And you got to get I didn't say that. I said, we got to pack. We got to get out of here because I know her well enough to know I don't want to be, because I know myself, I don't want to be freaking out. So she gets out of bed. She's like, all right. And then all of a sudden it's that tone. It's like, and she's pulling dresses down angrily. And then I get into it and she's like, you're sick, because I'm yelling. She's like, you're a sick person. Look at you getting pleasure out of yelling at me. I'm like, I'm sick. You can't even get control of your life. There's fucking clothes all over there. And we're both yelling at each other. And I know, I'm like, you're not going to fucking New York. And then I realized, like, what does that mean? I'm not going to leave her at the house. If I'm going to break up with her right now, I can't, how am I going to deal with the house? So then I knew I wasn't going to break up with her, of course. So we'd start fighting and fighting. And then this is a grown-up moment for me, because in the past, I would have just locked into that anger. But I got out of the room, I went and made some coffee, and I realized, dude, this is not, you got to pick your fights. But of course, she's already crying, and everything's on the line.
Oh, shit.
But I'm like, and I walk back in there, and I'm like, look, I want to be with you. Let's just stop. And I felt a few squirt out, and I'm like, oh, good. Thank God, this is so well timed. My heart is functioning properly. And we were all right. We went to the airport. We're all right.
Jesus. Wow, that could have been bad, though. You were teetering on the brink.
No, 3 months ago, I wouldn't have made it here. I wouldn't have been here. I would have been changing my locks.
Yeah.
I'm growing.
Wow, there is like a maturity there.
I see a different person. We haven't seen Mark in a while. He's different.
Yeah, he's fucking.
boy.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna. How old are you?
47.
So I'll be there by the time I'm 47. I got another 14 years to figure this out.
Jesus, do better for yourself.
You don't have a chance,
Deal with this
Joe.
shit. Go into therapy. Find a girl that's like reasonable and learn how to fucking.
Therapy's such a crutch. I hate that.
Joe is young enough to feel like this. Joe's young enough to feel like this, and it still be okay.
I'm not
like you'll figure shit out.
The thing is, you'll figure shit out, but quite honestly,
Jesus, he needs more than that.
No, just repress everything.
We're
Shove it down.
therapists right here.
Shove it
That's
down.
right. But what happened to you and what happened to me, like by figuring it out, means you're going to be humbled, fucker.
Yep.
You are going to be broken
Humbled.
down,
Joe,
and you're not.
but
And you're
humble
going to
you.
realize
Camel
exactly
clutch.
who you are and how you fucked up your life, and then you're going to cry all by yourself, and you realize, holy shit, I'm going to die
Jesus Christ.
soon.
What are you putting a curse on me?
Christ
Almighty.
He is pointing at him.
And your children's children.
Ox on you and your entire family.
You picked the wrong girls, Joe.
Okay, therapy's a crutch,
Oh,
but
yeah?
you can get a little bit of insight and maybe do things a little differently. Just go a few times or find a book. Do something for
Well,
yourself.
he just
I've
nailed
gone-
it, though. He just nodded to the question. He's picking the wrong girl. So why are you continuing to pick the wrong girl?
You know what I think it is, man?
If you really want a relationship, which you're telling us today in between your tears.
You know what I think it is, and I'm very. It's either that I'm way, way, way too picky, or have this fantasy. Part of me is pissed off that I was lied to my whole life by everybody, from the people in my life to the people, my protectors or
About
whatever.
being adopted?
To me, no. I was told that from the beginning.
They
But
told
then,
you had shoulders your whole life.
yeah, that,
And
yeah.
You believe that?
Everybody that tried to make me believe I was straight, it bothers me. No, but seriously, it's like it's.
What do they lie to you about?
I'm very bothered that I was raised very Catholic, and it bothers me
boy.
that I was sold this bill of goods that this Save the Princess, Prince Charming, Knight in Shining, whatever you want to call it, fairy tale idea of romantic love existed. And I really, really believed in it. And then it's the same thing that when you're 25 and you go, this is fucked up. I don't know if I believe in God. And you really struggle with that. I struggled with the belief in romantic love in the same way, where I was like, this does not exist the way it was taught to me. I have to learn to accept the reality of this. And it freaked me the fuck out. And it's been very, very hard for me to deal with. And I think that I went very rebellious in the other direction with sex and promiscuity and sexual experimentation, not in the sense of men and women, but in the sense of like trying to do everything I could with a girl and get into all kinds of new shit and whatever. And I know there's still 3 more circles of hell for me to fucking travel down into, but the point is that you get sold this bill of goods, and it fucked me up. And this thing that I think is out there or thought was out there isn't out there. That's the first thing. The second thing is, I think I do have a healthy sense of independence, and I'm not codependent to a fault. I'm codependent to an extent, as anybody is, but not to a fault. And I think I've afforded myself the luxury of being a little picky and saying, well, look, this girl is beautiful and she is nice, but she's not exciting. She doesn't, there's nothing riveting about her. Whereas this girl's really hot and really fun, but she's fucking nuts. So no to that. And I'm just trying to find the one.
You just keep
that's
pulling
a
the
good
handle on the
balance.
slot machine, waiting for
What
all
you got
the
to do is you got to
all the
find.
fucking
I
chicks
just
with a
want
line.
exactly. The slot
Perfect.
machine's a great analogy
Ching,
because
ching,
that's
ching,
what you
yeah.
want is a balance of sevens.
It's like, I got 2 7s, but I got a lemon.
You got to
You want a
find.
balance of
crazy.
sevens. You don't want a perfect
Well, the
10.
woman's not
You want a
that bad.
balance of sevens.
Yeah.
She's pretty.
You have
She's
to
the-
find. You have to find a nice one that you make crazy. And then you could just turn it on and off. Like, look how nice she is, but I can say one thing and she'll turn crazy. And then, that's bad advice.
They're all
Patrice-
they're all a little batshit crazy though. These girls.
Patrice gave me.
Notice that.
Anything
decent
you're about to
life.
say cannot be true.
Yeah.
You're about to say Patrice gave you decent
I
advice?
was, yeah. It started with
Did it have to do with an animal analogy of some kind?
the advice started with you faggot, and then it went on from there.
He's very compelling and
No, but
very
he-
wise man.
Yes.
He did say something interesting to me once, where he goes, this is the problem with white guys. He goes, you're all out there looking for the one. You think you're going to find this perfect girl, and he goes, it doesn't work like that. You got to find a girl, and you slowly,
Get her pregnant, leave her, find another girl, get her pregnant, leave her, find another. Was that the advice that white guys aren't doing enough of? Jesus.
There it is. There's Ant. Jesus.
I stole that from Gallagher.
What was it? What was the rest of the advice?
Well, it was sort of what you were just saying. Is like you find a girl and slowly you kind of she adapts to what you want, and you maybe adapt a little bit to what she wants.
But
and
you
it's-
added that part.
But the part about you adapting to her, I added.
yeah.
You're right. I swear I did. I really did.
That's not Patrice. That isn't it?
I just was trying to.
Yeah.
I wish we could help you, Joe, but show's over. So.
Yeah, it's okay.
It would be so nice to really help you sort out your mental problems.
Right.
But you got
We got things to do.
I'll talk to you guys in a few weeks. We'll see where we're at.
Okay.
yeah. Let's see how that
And
works.
I come back in with scabbed wrists.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, you gave us a real answer though. That was fascinating.
It was a very heartfelt, well articulated answer.
So is there guilt because you're having all this crazy sex because of your upbringing with the Catholic shit?
Once in a while that rears its head, but not as often. But for a while, man, for a long time, when I moved to New York, I had sex with 3 women, all of them girlfriends in relationships. And then I moved here, and it was all of a sudden, like, by the end of the first year, it was like, well, I'm up to 20. You know what I mean? Like, it really shifted gears. And for a while, I would have this weird come down after sex, and I didn't know what it was. I'd be depressed and freaked the fuck out, and like,
Well, that's
and then I
fucked up.
realized, like, oh, this is subconscious Catholic
Guilt.
stuff from when I was a kid.
That
And
shit goes away.
once I figured that out, I was able to start to fight through
Yeah,
it. But
Everything goes away after a while. Joe.
Yeah, love fades.
Everything goes away.
It does.
It's not that that 16-year-old high school relationship where if she left you, you'd fucking literally put a knife through your eyeball to try to get her back and things like that. That's that fairy tale stuff you're talking about, and the feeling that you get. It's all gone.
I just watched. It is. I just watched the Bill Hicks documentary, and they talked about how his parents, when he first started doing this thing on stage, his parents were like, they were saying how his parents were just like, they just wanted to live safely in a community and believe in their God and go to their church and not stir the pot or whatever.
Oh, shit.
And I literally was more envious of them than I was of Bill Hicks. I was like, I wish I could just do that.
I just want that.
Believe in a God and go live somewhere and just go, it's just nice.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's the
Sounds like an
Matrix,
easy
but whatever.
life.
Yeah, ignorance is
It is
bliss.
like envying
yeah.
people that kind of you see as stupid sometimes. It's like, man, that is one dumb motherfucker, but happy every day.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
not a worry in the world.
Yeah, I'd rather be Aunt
Great.
May than Spider-Man.
Yeah, but
You know what I mean?
Yes.
you're never gonna have that, Joe.
No, I know.
That's never gonna happen for you.
I know, which is why I was going to ask you if I could stay with you for a while.
Come out to the cat
Work
ranch,
this
hang out.
through together.
Just work it all out together.
Well, fuck, this was great. Marc Maron on Twitter,
Yeah, Marc Maron, MARCMARON.
WTFpod.com. And you guys are going to be in Montreal. Joe DeRosa Comedy on Twitter.
Yes.
Anything else, Joe?
JoeDeRosaComedy.com. And yeah, the show and Cheat, the movie Cheat, is playing this coming weekend, excuse me.
You need a hug, Joe? I mean,
in Montreal.
You want a hug?
I
I'll
don't
hug
know.
after. We'll hug.
Okay. What's this hug going to feel like?
We're both gonna cry.
I thought that was Bob Newhart for a second.
What?
Tom Boehner.
It's just a horrible visual. Down the hall, the guy with the white shirt.
That'd be great. I'd love to talk to Newhart. Have you guys talked to Newhart?
I did backstage,
No,
not
this
on the
looks
radio.
this looks like some of the guys that are
Ronnie-
going to buy the company.
Ronnie B. Yeah, someone's buying this place. It's obvious. I don't know for sure, but I would imagine that's what's going on.
This would've been a
Ronnie B.
great,
did an unmasked with Bob Newhart, and I got to talk to him in the dressing room. Fuck,
Yeah, that must have been good.
it was awesome.
Did he talk to you on a fake telephone?
I was just going to say, this would be a great conversation to have Bob Newhart it on. Bob, do you ever get depressed after you come?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I came, and I need my pills now. He's the best.
All right, Mark, don't be a fucking stranger, man.
All right.
Been way too long.
All right, I'll come in every time I'm here.
Was like
Every
a
time
threat.
I'm here.
Yeah, please do that.
And we're going to do the podcast. If you
Yes.
Well,
Love
you
to do
guys
that.
have some stuff you have hidden. I want hidden
Very
stuff.
cool. Hidden secretive stuff that
Okay,
we've
all right.
kept
After all these years,
under
that might be
wraps.
tough, but
Yeah.
That's
we'll
what I
figure something
thought.
out.
All right.
Or just
Jim
make
Norton
something
back
up.
tomorrow. We'll talk about Comic-Con, and I don't know. I guess enjoy your day. Bye.
You're listening to Opie and Anthony. Opie and Anthony. Virus. Sirius XM.